Hello, this is the Kona Lodge. We have just completed a 41-session actual play of the Delta Green campaign God's Teeth and the supplemental book God's Hunt. We started on November 3rd of 2023 and finished 2 years later. I was the game master or handler for the campaign, and with me were 4 players. Introduce yourself and the character parentheses S in parentheses that you played.
I'm Toby. I played Frank Campbell.
That's it. That was it.
Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking if you were going to try and make us explain like all the...
No, just
all the lore.
Just your main character. Nope. Morgan, who do you play?
Morgan. My name's Morgan, and I played Moraine Moss.
And
Robin Reyes.
Okay, good. Alright, Adam, who do you play?
Hi, I'm Adam. I played Jake Blevins and Bob Barnwell.
Very good. And Tim.
I'm Tim. I like how Toby was the only one that got to introduce himself.
Yeah.
But I played Thomas Thompson, and I didn't die until
the end.
And I'd like to point out, you said your main character, which is why I didn't say Robin Reyes.
Well, I notice I said parentheses S in parentheses. So in some cases, some people had 2 characters, like you. And some people didn't, like Toby.
Like me.
But both of you were confused.
Because that would have been weird if I would have just said Jake Blevins.
Yeah, but Robin was still alive, and he took power away from me for Robin, and so I didn't consider her my character at the end.
That's because you were weak-willed.
No, I wasn't. I didn't.
You shouldn't have let me do that.
I didn't.
He never would have done that to me.
I did the most horrendous shit while I was Robin. I was not weak-willed. I was steadfast, mostly.
Today we're going to do a post-campaign discussion / review of God's Teeth and God's Hunt. We'll talk about tips and tricks, what worked, what didn't work, how we would change things, and in general our experiences with the campaign. If you have read anything about God's Teeth, you'll probably know there's some sort of content warning for things that could happen in this campaign. It's pretty much the only campaign I've ran or scenario I've ran where I was actually like a little bit worried that the content would be too much.
which is fair.
I mean,
it's a lot.
But it's the only one, and we got through it, so don't be babies, you know. No, like, I don't know. Let me say this. I wouldn't run this for, like, people I don't know.
No. Of course not.
We're all desensitized now to child pornography.
Yeah, that's the...
We've all been looking at it.
Trigger warning. that's the content problem.
If they've gotten this far.
So, yeah, like, I wouldn't run this for, like, any minors. I wouldn't run
Obviously,
this
yeah.
for anyone I don't know.
Close group of friends.
Yeah, basically,
talk to them first.
Yeah, basically, like, if you know what kind of jokes you can tell to your friends, you should know whether you can do stuff like this. And obviously, like, you don't fully describe the terrible things that happen to people in this. You just say what it is.
What a great way to, like, intro a new partner into tabletop games.
Yeah, so tabletop games use dice.
Here's a Hello Kitty folder.
So first, what is Delta Green and the system that we used? So God's Teeth is a broad campaign for the RPG Delta Green. Delta Green itself started as a supplement for Call of Cthulhu, and has since evolved into its own game system. We're very familiar with the Call of Cthulhu rules, so we used a modified version of the Delta Green rules in order to play this campaign. So for example, Delta Green skill rolls operate on the blackjack principle. You want to roll under your skill level, but as high as you can without going over. However, matching numbers like 11, 22, 33 count as crits if they are under the skill roll. Call of Cthulhu, meanwhile, operates off the premise that the lower the roll, the better. And there are varying degrees of success, normal, hard, and extreme. Nothing wrong with the Delta Green system at all. In fact, I would say the automatic gunfire rules are much cleaner than Call of Cthulhu's. The ones in Call of Cthulhu we don't even use, really. But there are just some things that are just intuitive to the group, like the skill roll success, so it'd just be easier. Because we did Delta Green as written before, and I remember, Adam, you being upset because you got like a 2, and it was like, nope, this 54 beats it.
Yeah.
So Delta Green in the setting, it's a criminal conspiracy inside the federal government They operate in secret and are devoted to fighting the unnatural, covering it up, trying to save as many as they can. Though sometimes their methods can be brutal and appear heartless, the overall goal is good. So, obviously think of X-Files and Supernatural mixed together. Before becoming a full Delta Green agent, people are usually friendlies, helpful assets who assisted an agent but don't quite know the truth of the unnatural or what Delta Green is. They imagine it just be an official FBI investigation. So, just to give a broad overlook of the campaign, there are really 5 acts to this campaign. So Act 1 is in 2001, there's a raid on an orphanage, which is the reason why I got hooked into the game. Some people were friendlies, not part of Delta Green, and there was a raid in which some bad things happened and they saved some kids. Act 2 involves some distance between the characters as they don't see each other, that they went the separate ways, trying to put the raid at the orphanage behind them. And then Act 3, they're brought back together. There was a mass gravesite found at the orphanage's former location. Some people have been killed. It looks like the kids have become killers. So they have to hunt down some of these children. Act 4 involves random missions that they're sent on, involving drones or weed or corrupt cops or apps. And then Act 5 is the finale, taking place in 2020, and it involves another raid on an ice facility, as one of the boys from Cornucopia House has decided to recreate the entire thing. So we're going to go through those chronologically as we go, and talk about some of the things we did and why we did and what didn't work so well. But throughout the campaign, it's very dark, and it's the only campaign I've ever read that actually has themes in it. So big things I tried to hit on were failure of institutions, how being good is very, very difficult. It may not even work, even if you do your best.
I hated that. I hated that.
I was thinking of the fable from Fargo season 1, where the cop is told a story of this rich man who saw the world suffering and he decided to give away all his money, but still the world was suffering, so he decided to give away his home. And still the world was suffering, so he decided to give away his kidney. But still the world was suffering, so he decided to give away everything, all of his organs, everything, and he killed himself in order to try to make the world better. And the cop asked, so did it make the world better? And the guy telling the story is well, you live here, what do you think? Yeah. And anyway, at the end, the cop decides, well, you still gotta try, don't you? So
it's definitely not a heroic campaign.
No.
Much akin or not akin to D&D.
I don't know. Maureen felt like a hero at the end to me.
And
well, she went in.
No,
absolutely not.
You murdered a bunch of children.
Yeah, hold on now.
Hold on.
We'll get there.
Sorry.
We'll get there. So another big thing I wanted to hit on was never forgetting the first act, because that raid is going to come up again. So everything needs to tie both to the very beginning and the very end, and everything needs to service that. Establishing consequences to actions.
Consequences.
But that's what I mainly try to get through. So we're going to go act by act. We may jump around a bit, and that's fine. But this is just a basic framework so we can go through this discussion, give our thoughts, opinions, and suggestions, and interrupt me or say anything if you want, whenever you want to. So go forth, Act 1. This is the thing that hooked me on the campaign. I saw someone say this campaign, the hook is, you're told to go to this orphanage and kill everyone over the age of 18. And that was a pretty exciting hook for me. I liked that a lot. So we started this with Morgan's character, Moraine Moss, being separate. We took you aside. I don't know if it mattered that much, but I took you aside first and then did this. So where you got an email from a fellow Delta Green agent, Clove. You got mission details, and you were told to go to this gas station. You also then called your father and talk to him on that February night. You went and met Clove, and there was some weirdness to the whole operation. It didn't come in through the proper channels, and she gave you a couple folders, one manila envelope with 3 names in it, and contact info, and then a pink Hello Kitty folder. And then I made a physical prop of that. I burned it a little and tore it a bit. And then you were told the mission, go do this, go kill these people, don't let them speak.
Bringing up my biggest shame on repeat.
You even asked, like, why not let them speak? And she went over, well, they're magical people, so probably don't want them to do any spells on you. And you're like, got it. I will not forget.
Understood.
100% locked in.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to forget that.
I have Captain Clover.
Seems pretty important.
And her name is Clove, not Clover. This is, alright, here's something I want to mention. A lot of these names in this campaign, you want to say something else instead of what they actually are.
Yeah.
It goes for a lot of names that are like that in this campaign. So Clove is one. But anyway, so she gives you the pink Hello Kitty folder. She says, this is reason enough to go kill these people. And inside the Hello Kitty folder, the book says you're not supposed to say what's in there. You're just supposed to describe the feeling they have. Which, I started to do that, and then as I started to do that, I feel like I wasn't being clear enough, so I was just like, yeah, it's pictures of kids being raped and killed.
Yeah, and then I was convinced. I was convinced immediately that it needed to happen when I heard
So
that.
I would disagree with the book. I think if you just say there's pictures of kids being raped and killed,
I think it's
that's
pretty
good enough.
Yeah, it's going to be understood.
I don't think
The feeling will come across. Because it's really
you
bad.
don't have to describe.
Yeah,
the
you don't need to
detail
like
of that part.
Yeah,
you don't want there to be
descriptive.
ambiguity with like the
Yeah.
party arguing like, well, like should we like wipe these people out? It's
Well,
like it's
And you don't want because there's stuff in there about like, and there are like things in the pictures that you can't really tell what they are or something. And how I intended that, I don't know how the book intended it to come across, because I think it did intend for there to be kind of supernatural things in the pictures, but I just was thinking about like the positions that people are making with the children and stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to make out.
I
Yeah.
may not remember it exactly, but I feel like you did mention something where it was like what I got is you were describing like the deep, terrible feeling I got from looking at this.
Yeah.
And I thought that was almost supernatural. Like there was something.
Yeah, and that's the problem with like. I think going back, I would say directly what it was. Don't go into detail about it, and then describe how it makes them feel inside when they look at it. Because I think like part of the description about it is like it's hard to make out what's on these photos because like your eyes don't want to focus on them. I think that's good.
Yeah.
So, and then this whole thing, the campaign started as an actual play. And I listened to the first episode, which they did the entire first act in one episode. They also isolated the player. And I did that because I wanted everyone else to kind of be friendly with each other and you to be...
Me.
I wanted also you to present, like, here's the mission, guys.
I think that's where I was like really excited about it, and then I sat down. I was like, I don't know how to act like an agent, and then I just kind of freaked out. I was even writing notes, and then I was trying to read from the notes, and I just.
So with your character, I wanted everyone's character to have some sort of backstory with children. And with Moraine's character, you rescued a child from the insects from Shagai, the previous operation where all of your team died. And that left you the only remaining member of your cell. But anyway, we moved on to the friendlies in the hotel conference room, and that's where we met Adam, Tim, and Toby. You all had backstories with a Delta Green agent, Gary Hall, if you remember that.
Gary.
It's not important to the rest of the campaign.
No.
You could have looked into him a little more. You would have found something. He was related to why the folder's burnt and goop and stuff on it.
Yeah, we didn't really. I think we got distracted pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Honestly, Cornucopia House kind of shook the fuck out of us.
Yeah. You guys had connections to children as well, like Tim. I think Adam and Toby, your characters both had little children.
Yes.
And Toby, you had
Yes.
and Tim, you had a younger brother.
Yes.
Yeah. So, looking back for all of your 4 characters that you started with, would you have changed anything?
On like the character?
I would
Yeah,
have
like backstory or like how you played the character or anything like that.
I would have played
Honestly,
Moraine more mean,
Yeah.
abrupt. I feel like she needed to have more of an edge to her, and I kind of came off real friendly right away, and that didn't really make sense, especially with the trauma I had of like my whole team dying before.
Yeah, with Moraine, I was what I kept trying to go for.
I think what I played in Robin, I wish I had played some in Moraine immediately, but I don't think I felt comfortable playing Robin until I chatted with you and you were like, be evil.
I don't think I said be evil.
Well, I did. That's how I perceived it.
What I wanted to portray Jake Blevins as was like true good being like tarnished over time.
Yeah.
And I feel like he just got cratered immediately. It was hard.
Jake Blevins was one of my favorite characters.
It was hard to keep up, and I think he still was like good in most circumstances, but like
it's hard to keep levity after everything that happened.
Yeah.
So, and then Adam's character backstory really helped because he brought into it Nyarlathotep and the devil, basically Lord Malvo from Fargo season 1.
Yep.
Which is good because there was one scene in the campaign where there's a yellow biker who's Nyarlathotep, and so that got to expand into a bigger thing. What did you think of the mission when Morgan gave it to you?
I mean,
you guys did not. You guys were, I remember, kind of pushy.
I mean,
you're kind of sassy.
Yeah.
You're the princess era.
Our characters, no experience with Delta Green, were just dragged in
for sure
from the outside, and we're just like.
But when you guys saw the folder, I remember was
yeah.
it Toby that was like.
Toby gave the most guff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I should do this. I was like, well,
and
this
even
is
when
the
he saw the folder, he was like, fuck them kids. Actually, I don't care about those kids.
Going back a couple of things, you said that Morgan was told that she was supposed to kill everyone over the age of 18?
Correct.
I thought they told us to kill everyone, and then we didn't end up killing the kids.
We'll get there, but initially she was just told kill everyone over the age of 18. Call me when you've done that, and we'll go over there what we do from there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Clove did not. Clove will eventually, later on when the raid is done, she'll talk on the phone and she will tell you to kill the kids, but she didn't tell you to do that initially. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think
you'd have got along with that.
No.
Right. Yeah.
No, Jake Blevins definitely would not have.
Yeah. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So after you guys introduced each other, you got ready for the raid. And then weird things start happening. Adam's character, Jake, got bit by a seeing eye dog.
Got bit by a lot of animals.
He got taken to a clinic. Tim's character got attacked by some crows. Morgan's character got bit by a spider in a paper towel rack. Toby's character got attacked by a snake, but killed the snake. And then he was given shark beef jerky, which he was supposed to eat, which there would have a tooth in it, and he didn't eat that. So then some wasp nests fell on him.
That's kind of lame.
I do like how you tied in a lot of foreshadowing, because like even in the PowerPoint, where it was like the frozen on the red thought of domestic abuse.
Yeah. And there's some things like that where like, yeah, there's a PowerPoint that says red thoughts, and it has like a brain about domestic abuse. And then Morgan, when you went to see Clove at the gas station, there was
the smile thing.
There was it was like too white on the teeth, and then it was stuff like that.
Yeah.
That red thoughts like the kids later.
Red thoughts, white teeth is the phrase.
Yeah.
It's from Srinivasta, the story.
Yeah. I just got the oopies.
Yeah.
That spread throughout the entire campaign was real nice.
Yeah. So you guys met the social worker, Carrie Houghton, whose mind was scrambled by Babushka. Sort of like a foreshadowing element to notice that, like, you don't go and talk to these people.
You know, listen.
You saw all the social workers saying the same thing over the years. Like, oh, all the people that talk to these people, their minds get scrambled.
I've lived in pain over my messed up decision
to
for years.
To be fair, I specifically remember agreeing with you and then amping you up, like, oh, I'll go with you. We'll do the
Let's
the
talk
talking.
it out, guys.
Yeah.
So my recollection of it was Tim is the guilty culprit. Well, Tim was the one pushing it. Morgan was not paying attention and was just going along with what people said,
which feels accurate, which is not okay because I was supposed to be
the leader.
Because I definitely forgot
that's where I think it is my fault. Like that's my point. Is
my favorite part was when after it all happened, Toby then like was like, I was trying to tell you guys otherwise the
No.
whole time.
Toby was the one
I did.
most saying no. Yeah.
I did say no.
For sure.
I did not remember why,
Yeah,
but I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
felt bad.
Like, it wasn't for the right reasons, but I was
Well,
trying to do the right
And
thing.
I almost feel like the way I failed so bad can kind of help read into Moraine's just deterioration
I mean,
over.
all this helped. Like, ironically, like you doing that helped you in the second to last scenario, but we'll get there. So as far as the bites go, what?
The milk.
I mean, it did, but like, as far as the bites go, that was so. There's this god Shredny Vashta. It's Bast also. That was Bast chipping you and making you hers. Looking at the God's Teeth Handlers Discord, people seem to ask a lot about how to chip people and stress about it for some reason. Someone was like, "Don't let your players roll to avoid the bite."
What?
Like, what?
It's gonna happen eventually.
Another one was like create some sort of Rube Goldberg series of events that would startle an animal and then cause them to bite. And like, I think I responded to that one saying like, well, then it doesn't seem like it comes out of nowhere. It seems like something startled the animal.
Yeah.
And it freaked out.
And I did like how you kept throwing in nice animals throughout, being like, oh, there's Quicket.
One of the things that was interesting about the first half of the campaign is I feel like it's actually hard to tell as a player what's going on.
Yeah, I've been
Because
confused
some
a few
animals were
times.
helpful and some were
Yeah.
not.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's why I tried to get rid of fucking Cricket.
Yeah.
Even though he's just a dog.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. And usually in campaigns, in my campaigns, animals are always helpful. And I like them saving the day.
Not all of them here.
Not in this one.
No.
yeah.
So
Slightly different.
it came time for the raid. As we said, Agent Clove explicitly said, don't let them talk. Don't talk to them around the staff. You disregard that, went undercover, which led to you two being caught, Morgan and Tim, and permanently changed your characters with the milk. It also led to Jake's face burning. You went in because you thought it's a good idea. And also, I like undercover stuff in games. You know, it went well in Berlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why we probably did it. Is like, we've done this before, guys.
I mean,
Let's.
undercover is more fun than... I like undercover more than just attacking. Because
Yeah,
you get to talk
please.
to them. And
I remember being horrified by the babushka way you described us, like suckling on our Tiggle bitties, like
Oh yeah.
where
They're
we were
big,
just
yeah.
like
They were
Once
good.
we broke the
They
illusion
were very big.
and saw the dilapidated house and the multiple
yeah, and we were just like in heaven, slurping on these tatties and just
yeah.
horrific.
Yeah.
But it turned out
I
good.
mean, that's the reason why she's the cover of the book.
That's
That
fair.
doesn't
I
say
don't think
that.
she should be the cover of the book. I think the pink
Yeah.
Hello Kitty folder should be the cover of the book. But don't make it Hello Kitty. Just change it to a cartoon cat.
Wait, was that supposed to be babushka? Because it looks like a nun.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Oh.
her.
that's
Yeah.
her.
I don't know why she's the main cover of the book.
Right? Yeah.
She's in literally
They
just the
do-
first.
I mean, the first one is... she's obviously influential, but like... The obvious thing is to do the pink Hello Kitty folder as the
Yeah.
cover.
Yeah.
for
Either
sure.
that or do like the red skull white teeth.
Yeah,
You
some
know?
sort of teeth motif. Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
yeah.
was thinking.
Well,
If you wanna be
she
more
was
generic.
smiling with all her teeth, right?
Well, she's like eating an eye, which...
It,
But in-
it seems sort of like photoshopped together, but
The raid and fight went okay after that, with only Adam suffering long-term physical damage. You've got a burned face, and you lost 5 fingers.
I did.
So, on this first raid, are you happy that it was just, for the most part, just people you were shooting? Or would you have wanted there to be creatures? Because there was an option where they would summon like Dark
I
Yen.
feel like the people were monstrous enough.
Yeah, I feel like
Especially
And
with
they
the
were
babushka.
like horrific people.
yeah,
Like,
because
I
there
feel
was
like-
a monster. The babushka, I feel, was
A
venturing into the monstrous just enough. But I feel like that would have, like, if you had monsters there, it would have muddled it. Because again, like, it's already horrific enough.
I think low supernatural is good.
For sure. Especially
and
for
it
this.
felt like when we watched, because there were some videos there, right? And didn't you like describe them as like there almost felt like a supernatural thing about it, but we couldn't
Yeah,
describe
because that's
it.
how the book does.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I think this campaign really is kind of... It's so close to just being like...
X-Files.
Well, what I mean is like... maybe there is no Bast. Maybe there is no Shreni Vashta.
I mean, we ate a god.
Except for those stuff.
Yeah.
But like in this one. But anyway, so you did the raid. I killed all the people. Adam, is the circle on over there? That light?
Yes, it is the circle.
Cool.
Well, there's a dot, but not the whole
s-
circle.
It is
No,
It's a
the
circle.
Tiny,
I'm gonna trust
tiny
that.
one.
It's a tiny dot.
It's a circle.
Oh, okay.
It's a lit up circle.
All right, that's good.
He hates me.
So,
I don't hate you. I'm
once you did that, you got to look at some of the children. So, here's where I did some changes. In the book, some of the children are old enough and can talk and can tell you some of their mythology. I don't like that.
What
yeah, you
precisely-
made those kids silent.
That would have been helpful.
That would have been goofy.
What would they have told us precisely?
They would have told you like who the cult was worshiping. How,
That's weird. Yeah.
yeah, they would have told you how like they're trying to make us not talk and disconnect us. Like some of these children pray for like basically kind of what you learn later about the silent children and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You would have learned some of that then. And I disagree with that.
I feel like us learning about the silent children later, that's when we really started connecting everything.
Yeah.
We started, like, that's when I feel
Which
like...
is the halfway point of the campaign, so that makes sense.
And I feel like I remember being like, that was when I really started connecting everything.
Well, because at that point we're like, oh, so there's like two gods here, or
Yeah.
there's a god and then a being.
And that's another part of why I think it's hard as a player to understand what's going on, because there's two gods going
For
on
sure.
at the
And I
same
will
time.
say, I was very confused in the first half of this campaign.
I mean,
Because like the bad people do on this, they don't matter, and whoever they're worshiping doesn't matter.
yeah.
Yeah,
it is kind of a red herring there in the
yeah.
beginning. Like,
Tim kills him off screen, like
Yeah,
yeah.
by himself.
yeah.
Because I remember, like, later in the campaign being like, oh, we can't let him talk. And then realizing, like, oh, this is a different enemy. This
Yeah.
is a...
But anyway, for the kids, Conradin is the only kid named in this first chapter. I would have liked for more names of the children to be learned in this chapter.
Yeah.
That way you can kind of...
You
when
can
they come
Follow
back,
them.
when they
along.
come back later, they're there. But in the book, there's never a list of full names of all the children, which it can't be that hard to come up with 20 names. Just write down 20 names.
Or just a couple?
I could probably do
Can
that
we
right
come
now.
up? Yeah. Can we?
No.
I don't know.
Bob Jones.
I thought it was really
James.
important that the kids
James.
aren't possessed and aren't under a spell. So that way, because if they were up for either of those, you could argue that putting them down would be a mercy.
Yeah.
I mean, they are influenced per se, but otherwise they're just.
This is just how they are.
They're
Oh, yeah,
just
'cause
traumatized.
That's
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
called Agent Clove, and then she was
So-
just like, "Oh, sorry, you go first."
Oh, God.
Well, and that's when she told me to kill them, right?
Yeah, she was like, you know what you have to do. And you said, no, I would never do this.
I would never stoop so low.
How dare you,
me?
Clove?
Clove.
She's like, you're being really unempathetic with me right now. You'll get it later. But yeah, all the kids have been drawing you guys and your bite marks where you got bit, making it clear they were praying for you to come, and you did. The baddies worshipped a form of Shub Niggurath, but another god answered the calls of the children, Shreni Vashta or Bast, and from this point on, you're her teeth. So the kids each have a pet they take care of. That's in there so that the bad people have a pressure point they can use to hurt them, even more than just physically.
Yikes!
Yeah, the barn with all the pets.
The ferret.
And Conradin had a ferret. And
Yeah.
Conradin went and got Moraine the book of the Chronicles of Clovis,
Which was
which has the story of Shreni Vashta in it, which is about a boy who lives with his aunt, and he prays to the ferret. He calls a god Shreni Vashta, and it eats his aunt. And he's surprised that it can do that. But yeah, that's Act 1. Everyone's mad at each other, especially Adam's character is mad, because his face got burned, the raid went badly. They all remembered, oh yeah, don't talk to them, you fucked up, Moraine.
I was upset.
Yeah. So you all went your separate ways, pretty pissed. So the status of everyone at this point, Moraine, you were already Delta Green before. The three friendlies went back home. Oh, I should mention this. This was not an officially sanctioned raid.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
not what Delta Green wanted to happen.
Which we learned after the raid.
Yeah, you learned this
Yes.
after the raid. So this contributed to feelings of anger at Delta Green. And so you all went home pretty furious. And Adam, you did see the devil in the in the hospital, and he smiled at you. So that was the end of Act 1. Any more thoughts on the raid and Act 1 in particular as a hook for the campaign?
I remember during the raid feeling like a palpable sense of stress, like running through, like knowing everything that was going on. Like it was a very like engaging couple sessions that we did.
It was 4 sessions. Yeah.
What would happen if we killed all the kids?
There'd be no campaign.
Which is
Like,
fair.
I've thought about that so many times.
We're good
So,
little
yeah.
soldiers. We don't talk. We call
Yeah.
in. She says, kill him. We say, aye, aye.
You've hung up before she finished.
I was
We already did.
Oh, we did that.
What? Oh, what do you mean?
Don't worry, those adults are safe.
Over 18. Oh, shit.
Like,
Those
do you think
Russians
there's
were
been
cool.
any people that have done this and then have killed.
Absolutely not.
Really?
It's pretty straightforward.
Also, other GMs, I've noticed in looking at what people have said online, that they railroad a fuck ton more than I do. So
That's fair.
You definitely don't railroad.
Yeah.
I'm
like
staying.
one person was like, "Why did he let them go in, even though they were told not to talk to them?" And then someone else replied, "Well, some people like for characters to make choices."
It's fair. We made the wrong choice.
It was like, holy shit,
Oh boy.
that was kind of hostile a little bit.
But no, as
I
far
was
as
upset that you let me make that choice. I remember that. I was like, why did you remind me? And you were like, I told you in different ways throughout before you did this.
yeah.
So then we get to Act 2, which is the lawn years.
Well, I was going to say,
Sorry.
as far as Act 1, I agree with everything so far. It's a great hook. I mean, it definitely gets you in the story, and with the topic, as long as everyone's fine with the topic and everything, it is a pretty strong motivation to continue down the path.
So here's what I'd say. Act 2. This campaign, like I said, split into 5 parts. Go forth, lawn years, red thoughts and white teeth, God's hunt, and the hidden God. That's the finale. Which is a terrible name for the finale. So, looking at this, the red thoughts and white teeth are when you guys come back together, you learn that your teeth, you catch some of the children. Looking at that, there aren't any scenarios written during the long years, and you guys shouldn't see each other until Act 3. So the book gives some ideas of like things you can look into, such as the Scopsy connection. You can get more information there. But they're more like scenario seeds, so you can't just run some scenarios. I see a lot of people online skip this part, and some have said they skipped all of the God's Hunt scenarios later, which was the drone, the weed, the corrupt cops, and the app. They skip all those.
That's a lot.
And and this is my point of like, there's 5 acts: Go Forth, Long Years, Red Thoughts, White Teeth, God's Hunt, Hidden God. So they skip both of those things. So they go from the raid on Cornucopia to you all meet again 15 years later, you all learn your teeth, to the finale on the ice raid.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
That's insane.
that probably would have taken us like 6 months. Like that.
But like that, how is that even a story? Like, I don't understand that.
It's
Well,
a
I feel
loosely
like-
connected story, but you have less of the in-between Delta Green stuff
Yeah.
of like us as characters being incorporated in Delta Green.
Even playing
And stuff
2
like that.
characters, I felt pretty connected to the other like members of the party, just because
You've
we'd
been there.
been
through
there
this
so
stuff.
long.
I also just liked the long years, how you
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah, I like
Actually,
those.
being able to play through a single character and then the rest of us playing, NPCs
Well,
beside them.
I loved being everyone's kids
So,
and
yeah,
life.
how we did the long years was it was split up for the first 2. I came up with 11 vignettes for each person, and I asked them what sort of stuff they wanted to do. So Tim wanted to go after the Scopsy, which were the people that ran the orphanage. And basically, for the first set, I did Adam and Tim. We did 2 sessions where we just alternated back and forth, and then for the second set we did 3 sessions with Morgan and Toby. And I felt like this was needed. I felt like we couldn't just go to Red Thoughts, because when Red Thoughts starts, all of you are normal parts of Delta Green. And Adam was pretty angry at Delta Green.
Yeah,
the last time I saw him.
He was pretty furious.
And I don't know how you go from like angry and furious to me saying, okay, now Adam, sometime in between there you officially joined, and you're just a normal part of this now.
Yeah.
Unless you were a super.
So that's why I felt like I had to do something like the long years for this.
For sure. And you did a really good job of kind of playing on the fact that like while Jake was like really upset at Delta Green, he also has like a deep sense of responsibility. Mm-hmm. So like if you give him someone to save, he's probably going to do that. Like, yeah.
So I came up with 11 small vignettes. They're supposed to be 5 to 20 minutes long, and I wanted to achieve the goals: create a realistic transition for you to join the program, explore your bonds, explore the mental and physical effects Cornucopia House had on you, showcase some supernatural things in order to showcase the new powers you had from Bast, and develop your personality and values through tough choices. Like, I feel like I did that best with Adam and Tim's character. I don't think I did it as well with you, Morgan, and Toby. I don't think I had as good of stuff for you guys.
Because our personalities.
It was harder to think of stuff for FBI agents than it was for cops.
Yeah.
Cops, there's a lot of random situations they can get into and deal with, but for FBI agents, it's like, it was just really difficult for me. Mm. But anyway, as far as long years goes, I was pretty unsatisfied with the end product of it. I think it went too long. It went 5 sessions. That's just too long.
Yeah.
I think if I were to go back and do it again, I would do like 4 or 5 vignettes for each person instead of 11. And I did 11 just because when I was writing for Adam and Tim, they came pretty easily to me.
And then you got to us and you're like, no!
Your characters suck ass.
You stub your toe and it's really bad. Play that out.
But for some of the vignettes, we're not going to go through all of them, but some of the things we got to see 9/11 from all perspectives.
Great.
In one case, Moraine was saved by animals from getting on that plane.
I was trying to get on it so bad.
Yeah. Thomas had his cat Pineapple, his brother Jeremy, his mom. Jake had his wife and daughters, his fellow deputies, a Boy Scout troop. And so when we were going back and forth, if it was Tim's character's turn, Thomas, and then Morgan played his brother Jeremy, and Tim played his mom. Adam played his mom, and everyone played each other's NPCs. And then I would have a private group chat where the main person wasn't in there. I texted them, "Here's what this next scene is going to kind of be about," and you guys would just improvise off that. So that's how those worked.
Yeah, I always really enjoyed those.
Yeah,
scenes.
I liked it.
Well, and I feel like they were almost a little bit more important than I would think you'd put on initially, because it helped develop the characters throughout those long years as far as, how should my character feel about these scenarios in the future?
It also helped us like
that's
each
the
other
goal.
more, I think. Like, even though, like, later on, even though we didn't know all of that, like, I was bonded to all of their characters a little more, I think.
Well, some of the vignettes, Jake's had a red king monster in the caves. The scouts foreshadowed a ton of scary stories about. This doubled as also like mocking his burned face. Thomas's decision to let the junkie informant who microwaved his own baby go.
Damn.
That his corrupt partner's urging.
Yeah.
Thomas joined the new Delta Green, known as the program, when the agent came to him for help. Also, some of the because we shortened some of the investigations during the long years to be like, yep, that's the book that was killing people. One of the people in the handlers group did not like that. They didn't like jokes like that.
Jokes like what? Us microwaving babies?
No, like just summing up something and that was the evil book that murdered people.
Oh.
And we're done. Moving on.
But Thomas, he went into his own personal information gathering mission to Moscow on the Chesapeake, learning more about the Skopsy. He was warned off by the CIA, and the program contact put him in touch with some Delta Green outlaws. So this bureaucratic impediment on taking down evil people will, of course, repeat later in the finale. He went on a raid where he was the only survivor. Jake joined the program when they needed help finding a green box nearby. Jake rescued some kids. He saw the devil again. Jake became sheriff. Thomas turned a blind eye to his partner and helped traffic drugs in order to pay for his wife's cancer. He also had a son, naming him Frank. Why did you name him Frank?
Because Toby's character was named Frank.
Okay.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just in case.
And you forgot to
I
mention the
honestly
cookies
didn't
and
write
the
down.
and the green box.
Yeah,
they were very important.
He found cookies in the green box that could grow back your foreskin.
Yeah, it was good.
Very important.
He didn't eat one, though.
God, I wish those were real.
If only.
So Moraine, she had animals kill themselves trying to save her from 9/11. Her father found a bottomless hole in the backyard of the family farm.
Oh yeah, he did.
He used it to get money, feeding the hole with trash and waste. Moraine got into a relationship with a Pisces agent who turned out to be controlled by the member of the Shan, a race that Moraine had fought before. She also looked after the boy Oliver, who she saved from the Shan. Her relationship with the Pisces agent James Black ended before 2016. She did some more operations. Also worked as an FBI agent, including a brief stint assisting the Border Patrol and even testifying against some of them, irritating other law enforcement officers due to lack of solidarity and her high ethics.
Why are you saying like that?
Just the consistency of your character.
What are you
I'm
talking
kidding,
about?
I'm
You're
She changes over the years.
specifically coming for me, my dude.
Okay.
Well, he's talking about everyone.
Yeah.
It's just your turn.
Yeah, Frank, you intelligently tracked down Moraine on 9/11.
Yeah, that was awesome.
You raised your kids while dealing with your wife's bipolar illness. You saved a woman in a museum from a crazy man, then refused to cheat on his wife with this woman later.
You're a good man.
After the war on terror started, he was reassigned to terrorism. He refused to entrap a mentally ill man under terrorism charges.
So yeah, that was such a fun one to play.
I remember how hard you went with how mentally ill this man was.
We had to be really specific.
Obviously, this is referencing something the FBI did where they kind of entrapped mentally ill Muslims online, like mentally challenged Muslims online, and then like saying we caught ISIS.
We got him.
He went to the Middle East with some soldiers. Due to his art background, he was captured by the Taliban, held prisoner with a member of the program, who then officially invited him to join. While there, he handled and saw some artifacts referencing Egyptian gods, including Ra and Bast. After returning from the Middle East, he got into some fights, including at his kid's school with other parents who thought were unnatural in some way. So, yeah, like I said, I would shorten this to be 2 sessions total. Yeah. And yeah, you guys are saying nice things about it now, but at the time it felt like it was going on too long for me. And looking back, I would say it went on too long.
It was still fun.
Yeah, I kind of liked it.
I thought it was just too much. I think if it was less, it'd be better. But anyway, so that's Act 2. Then there's Act 3, which is Red Thoughts and White Teeth. So everyone reunites in 2016. You're all called in by your new handler, Anthony Pizzarelli. Well, his name's Anthony, not Anthony.
Did I call him Anthony?
I
called him
Pitt.
We called him
We
Pips.
called him Pizzarelli.
Yeah.
Morgan had known as a kid he was made fun of as a child, and she stood up to his bullies who was calling him Pizza Rally and stuff. And then you guys all named him Pizza too. And people in the handlers Discord were talking about it as when is Pizzarelli going to stand up in the Kona Lodge campaign to the people being racist towards him?
Hey, pizza.
I just didn't know, we had this background and he, barely brought it up with me.
Yeah.
And I would always be upset about that. I'd be like, we have this history and he's not.
It's not that much of a history.
To me,
you knew
it
him
was
as a child,
extraordinarily
and
meaningful.
You were kind to him as a child. But that's in their that's part of the thing of what we said, you helped him as a child, and that's it. And I think it's meant to show just it's just to be a coincidence, which there's several things that are coincidences. They call it synchronicity in the book itself, but also I think it's also to say this is kind of why you guys aren't being killed immediately. Someone spoke up for you guys, maybe. But anyway, he demands a full story of what happened at Cornucopia House, and you guys all tell him. He tells you about the death in Florida, where the names were found written on a diary page along with the address. The address corresponds to the site of the former cornucopia house. The cop who found that called Marilyn Stades about the page and asked her to take a look at it. She drove out to the address, the site of the former cornucopia house, now with a lot with storage building for the new nearby private prison. There she found a murdered Carrie Houghton, the social worker from 2001, which holistically murdered. They also found an old dog, which led her to some bone buried in the ground, and soon an old mass grave was uncovered. So, you guys were all formed a new team, labeled Masticate. You were tasked with learning what happened with the murders, what happened with the kids, and placing blame for the failures. So in this one, there were 3 key NPCs. There was Michael Costa, who was a young cop with the local county cops. There was State Detective Velasquez, which I renamed to Vasquez, because that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
It's just more common. I don't know. I figured you guys would say Vasquez anyway.
Probably.
I don't know. And then also a journalist lady, pushing for information and being a nuisance. I don't remember her name. I didn't bother to look it up.
It was I can't remember. No, it was based off a character. in a
Veronica
TV show.
Corningstone.
I based her off of the Freddie Lowndes from Hannibal.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
That's what I was picturing.
So, I'll be honest, a lot of this one was me talking at you guys. And I really didn't like doing it. And the worst of it was the information at the gravesite. It was just so much telling you all these descriptions. And what I would do, if I were to go back, with how we did the finale, where there was different information on covered in, different handouts for that, and I gave you each some, and you all presented to each other. Mm-hmm. That's what I would do if I had to run this again. I would just have handouts, and I'd give you to read. Mm-hmm. And then you'd all present the information.
To each other.
Versus me just talking, because I just felt like I was talking at you with very little choice in what you were doing.
Well, yeah, because a lot of it was us, we're going to investigate, but then we find the thing that's laid out for us.
Yeah, it's already there, so I'm just talking at you all over.
I can see that.
But anyway, so the killers are 3 cornucopia house kids acting super creepy and weird. They hold up 4 teeth to cameras. Their weapons were already waiting for them. They fell off a truck like a week before. They're very lucky, always been in the right place at exactly the right time to grab Houghton. So her cat threw up and she was outside throwing away some trash in the middle of the night when they all came and got her.
Diana Toomey. Found the reporter's name.
Correct, that's her name. We'll get through the evidence. Most of the cornucopia hit kids got trapped in the system, lost, adopted, abandoned, even killing new families. I really liked this part. And the specific descriptions of what happens to these are the 4 kids that went here, here's what happened to them, and basically all of them got failed. All of them suffered, and all of them had pretty miserable lives. I thought that was good.
Except for one.
Except for one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There was one that worked out.
Well, 2 technically. Connor didn't technically.
He had a good life. He won.
Yeah, he did win. Yeah.
You got everything you wanted.
So the reporter and the local cop
Dotus.
messed with the player characters a bit. The local cop figured out who Jake really was from an online article from Saving the Boy Scouts, and blackmailed him to put the blame on the Stades and Vasquez or Velasquez. The reporter got in touch with the guy who stole the tube of black ooze found in the pit. He turned into a monster and had to be shot. Velasquez, I'll just say Velasquez because that's what it is in the book. Velasquez, meanwhile, tried to be as helpful as she could. She was just a rookie at the time, working with 2 senior detectives who had passed away at the interim. She was there in 2001 when the Stades came and checked out what had gone on and why all these kids were there alone and the dead people there. They had said at the time the Stades had that it was a drug-related thing because some drugs were found there. Ultimately, you guys blame the Stades and Velasquez, who was upset her former partners and her were going to take the blame. Fitzgerald obviously noticed this. And after saving the records on a flash drive, you guys shredded the evidence on the ground floor. There was a truck that with a logo for a cat's paw backed up and knocked over a pipe and the shredder machine. And bits of paper floated down, the reddish, ironized water would hit some of the words on the paper, and this was meant to be a Q&A basically from Bast, of you asking questions, and you guys could, like, it would tell you things using the shredded paper and the, like, highlighted words. I didn't do that shit.
I was about to say, I didn't get that at all.
Yeah, I didn't do that at all.
Yeah.
The only ones I did was, like, it highlighted ask, no, become.
Yeah.
So...
Did people not like that about you?
one person's like, "Oh, I was looking forward to it." Which, I'm sorry, but I didn't want to answering questions.
Yeah, and that would honestly, even still at that point, we knew supernatural stuff was going on, but that would be way too direct in my mind.
Yeah.
Especially, we didn't know who the entity was, but if we were able, like, wow, I wonder why this is happening, and then the paper's just like, because I wanted it to.
Yeah.
You know,
It feels
like something.
It seems a little goofy.
I like that Bast never became like a Nyarlathotep, or like I'm human. I'm going to talk to you in a conversation and tell you
what
I
it
think.
always felt like was like it was just inevitable.
Yeah.
Bast just knew it would happen.
Yeah.
And Bast didn't ever have to intervene. Just knew that teeth would do what teeth do, and it always did. Like every single time, it worked out that way.
Yeah.
And that is what you said there is a huge part of the book. Actually, it's saying like that they don't really have choices or whatever.
Yeah.
And actually, I didn't feel. I mean, story-wise, yeah, you don't have choices technically because Bast foresaw it happening, but obviously you do have choices.
For sure,
yeah.
we had
I mean,
choices, but to give that some credence, like we had choices like every single step of the way, but we still ended up where we ended up.
Correct.
You know, like it was impossible to avoid where we were heading.
I mean,
like we were on a collision course.
Jake did look at a drone and disappeared.
Not what I meant, but yes,
It was
Everything was
inevitable.
working
He
towards
was
that.
all, let's go.
it
That's
was
what's
inevitable.
Hey, Jake had the best like death. Like everyone else, right
Hey.
before your deaths, you was fucking miserable.
Nobody thinks
Yeah.
Jake is a pedophile, so
Yeah, Jake's,
nobody thinks Jake is a
Nobody
pedophile.
knows where Jake is.
No.
really.
His daughter thinks he's a deadbeat, though.
That's better than thinking he's a pedophile.
so as who gets the blame? The Stadies deserve the blame.
yeah, for sure.
100%.
I didn't feel bad blaming them at all.
And that's the kind of slightly interesting thing is like Velasquez is a good person. She is an ally. I've seen other people say they've like brought her into the program as a friendly
Yeah.
or an agent, and I could see that. You guys didn't do that, and that's totally fine too. Like I can also see why you didn't do that.
Yeah. I would say with this section, there was definitely some frustration going through of like figuring out how to blame the Stadies
Yeah.
and just like
Yeah.
solidifying our decision on that.
There-
Because I remember multiple conversations of like, I'm not an actual cop.
For
I
sure.
don't know.
There
what
was
I'm
some.
doing.
There was for sure some difficulty with like what authority do we have?
I think that
What
was
are
the-
what are we able to do here?
I think you hit the nail on the head for me because I just didn't know how to act like I was
Yeah.
a police officer, an FBI agent, or whatever. And sometimes when Adam talks, and this is like me liking the way you talk, you sound so sure of yourself and the way you like just use certain lingo. And I was like, yeah, what that guy said. Like, so I would just kind of, I just felt like I needed to be a certain way,
Yeah.
and maybe I should have watched more cop shows.
Well, yeah, I feel for you guys on this one because yeah, you have to act a certain way, but none of us are cops or federal agents, and none of us know what to do. And there's also like they wanted to, Velasquez wanted to be with you guys at all times.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah, how do you come up with an
you,
excuse?
you have to get her away from you, but you also have to do it in a way that's not suspicious.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck do you do?
Yeah.
What did we do? I can't remember.
We split up.
It was frustrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, Costa is worthless and a drain, but he's innocent, and his county people are innocent. So that was the end of Red Thoughts, and then continued with White Teeth. You drove south. You stopped at a rest home where the only living social worker for Cornucopia House resides. His mind ruined by Babushka and her delicious milk. And you guys get there just as one of the Cornucopia kids arrives and stabs him. The kid has these unnatural abilities. They time things perfectly, so just going through a door a locked door that just opened as someone was leaving, or controlling dogs, visiting the nursing home. They have that ability too. You guys shot her dead pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. You didn't take her prisoner or anything, which she wouldn't have said anything even if you did, because she can't speak.
Yeah.
Next stop was King Torino's in North Carolina. You guys went there. This was the place where the only cornucopia kid that got better lives. Nakia Chilikov. I do like her backstory of how she's saved. She's one of 4 children there who got saved. Conradin was one of the other 4 kids. She had to be adopted by the doctor and given an unreal amount of attention. The kids get worse spending time with each other. The other kids hated Nakia for getting better. And the doctor ended up dying of cancer a couple of years later. So,
Yikes.
she's dead.
Yeah.
So, she's like the best example in this of like, you do everything right, you do your best, you'll succeed maybe a quarter of the time, and then you die anyway.
Yeah. Not even a quarter of the time, like 1/20th.
Well, yeah, she had access to 4 children, but yeah.
Oh, I guess that's fair. Yeah.
And then you guys were attacked by a bear.
Bear. Yep.
There
And
was,
Samuel.
yeah, Samuel. There was an opportunity to mentally dominate the bear, but bullets worked too.
We just physically dominated it.
Yep.
Didn't
Morgan did do it,
Okay.
but she did nothing with that.
right as
But no, I did, didn't I?
No, you didn't.
What?
You,
then
you
we,
like
then we just domed it.
you dominated it, and then you like shot it instead of like sending it after Samuel or something.
Oh. I feel like I would do that. Just like take over and kill it.
And then you guys went to Florida. In Florida, there were 3 avenues to follow up. There was the dead woman in the mobile home. There was the cop who has the paper with their names and cornucopia address. And there's the church that the kids have been, their clues on them have been pointing to with their clues. The dead woman is Clove in the mobile home, eaten by animals under the control of one of the children. Incidentally, like the animals have just broken down the door and went in and ate her. That's what would have happened to Robin if she'd lived past the end of the campaign. So like 17 years later, animals would have came for her and the new children would have eaten her. Stuff like that.
Nice.
I liked killing her.
The animals then went into the swamp and stood there until they died. Frank remembered the story from the book Conradin had given Moraine, Shredi Vashtar. Jake saw the devil again, this time as a biker in yellow. He licks Jake and speaks above him to the god behind Jake, and yeah. Then he says, like, it's good to see you too, Jake.
Must be hungry.
So the devil liked Jake best because he had him in his backstory.
Yes. So that scene right there at the mobile home, that's the only one where the devil's actually in this campaign.
Yeah.
Laptop's actually in the campaign.
So you added him in.
I added him more because Adam included him more. And also, because again, I know where this is going with the finale, and I was trying to set up opposing views for what should happen in the finale. So,
Yeah. Which turned out really well.
the cop who has the paper was easily fooled by you guys, but this was a clever plan. You pretend to be good deep state, fighting the evil deep state. The book mentions how the program has put an insurance under the yard of his parents' house full of weapons and like drugs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another case of like, so wait, what kind of effort is the program going to give you guys? Like,
Yeah.
you just put this barrel full of all this stuff here without even asking? Like, okay.
That's a lot of support.
I don't know why you, yeah. That's really weird that you did that.
The levels that they were willing to go to for certain things were very strange.
Yeah, and that's true of like through all Delta Green scenarios.
Yeah.
Of like,
Every Delta Green scenario I've been in, I've been like, cool, so you want me to do this crazy impossible task and you want me to have no support, no contact, and
Figure it out, dummy.
Yeah.
You buy all your own
yeah.
equipment.
But the real purpose of this is not insurance against him; it's to arm you for the climax of this act against the alligators.
Yeah.
So that's the point there.
Okay.
There was one part that of this whole thing that I don't like, and I can't figure out how to rationalize. But this guy, he's the one that called up to the Maryland Stadies and said, here's this list of names and this address. Can you go check out this address for me? Sure. And they went there and they checked out the address and found everything. It's never mentioned again that the person that called asking about this location also asked about your 4 names.
Yeah.
why the fuck did they not look into this? Nobody looks into this.
I thought there was somebody like
looking into
some Moriarty like shadow character like off to the side, you know.
And I brought this up in the handlers Discord about this, and I got some responses, and they were like, Delta Green buried it. I'm like,
what?
They made people forget. Like the person that he calls. Like, one of the fucking first things that they need to do is like, okay, what else did he ask about?
Yeah.
Well, and just the follow-up of like, oh, we found all this shit. Maybe I should call him and find out why he had that information.
Yeah,
and follow
also,
up that way.
He doesn't connect any of what is on the TV, apparently, to what he asked. Like, there's nothing about what he thinks about about thing that's happening in Maryland. He apparently doesn't know. But he got fired from his job. So, and he's like, I'm tired. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And apparently that's good enough. So,
I feel like Delta Green's killed for less.
It's like they can't kill because like it's this guy and also the person he called about it, and she probably wrote it down like these names and this address, and literally the first thing that should be said is, why did you go to this location? Oh, I got a call about this location and these names. Yeah. And at that point, it should be like over for you guys, but it's not.
Yeah.
So in game, how I was playing it was like I would have said like you guys didn't bring it up, but like if you had brought it up, I would have said it sounds like it like you're fucked, but you're not for some reason. So like maybe like I'm not gonna deal. I'm just gonna hope and back away and hope no one draws attention to it. But that's a bad answer.
But that's the thing. I think if you would have said that to us, we would have like hyper focused on it.
Yeah.
And been like, we have to prevent this clear thing that's going to like come back and bite us in the end. Like if we don't do this, like it's going to be something we're kicking ourselves over.
So I mean, the only thing that I can possibly do to like correct it would be. He just asked about the address, and he didn't ask about your names.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense, yeah.
And he got fired. So when she called back asking for more details, he's gone. The sheriff at that time who fired him didn't like him anyway, so they just dead end there. But I think that works as a different explanation. But anyway, you guys went to the church. At the church, you get an info dump on the mythos from the homeless children. They have several different categories. They have the hungry mother, seems to be like basically the embodiment of evil. You have the silent slaves. You have the quiet children. You have the red-minded men. These are like the evil like cops and lawyers and bad people who hurt you. You have the speaker, this prophesied chosen one who will speak for the god Shreni Vashtar. Who is trapped but wants to devour gods and will devour evil and stuff like that. Cornucopia kids, they communicate through their actions and their deaths. It's the way they can speak and draw attention to things. Srinivashta, they sharpen each other. So that's why they sometimes hurt each other and get into fights, trying to make each other stronger. So, Graffiti pointed you to an abandoned house across from the church. You got him to a fight with another cornucopia kid and another kid she captured. Jake Blevins killed that other kid pretty quickly. And then you guys went to the swamps. Last killer sign language as teeth of a shared god. The other kids in the back sacrificed themselves and become gator chimeras who then attacked and took 3 of Moraine's legs before being killed.
3 of her legs?
3 of her legs.
3 of her limbs, I'm sorry.
Your third leg.
Yeah. And then Team Masquerade returns home knowing they are God's teeth, Shreni Vashta's teeth. What do you think of white teeth, I guess?
I think that's when I spoke up and I was like, obviously, when it was obvious at that point, I was like, I think we're the teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started getting on to it eventually. I liked it, because it was after trying to do all the cover-up stuff, and then it was back to, alright, investigation stuff.
And killing.
Yeah.
And chasing after the kids, the adult children now,
For sure.
and everything.
Yeah, I think I remember feeling a bit overwhelmed with all the names and the kids and the information. And then when we were finally like moving forward, I was glad with that. Like
Once this kind of wrapped up was the first time I really started to form like a series of events of like, okay, we're following one god that's trying to devour others. We are the teeth. Like those certain plot points started to connect for me.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think about the alligator chimeras as a finale?
it seemed a little silly.
Yeah.
So I think it was a little silly, but honestly,
But
for our
horrifying, 'cause I almost died.
our group,
Sorry.
it was great because again, I was horrified by our party member like losing 3/4 of their limbs. Like that was a pretty great, and I think that's a pretty likely thing to happen in that scenario. It's like
Sure.
somebody's gonna lose some body parts to these alligators.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to showcase the milk.
Well, I mean,
If
Were the alligators in the campaign?
yeah, that's all part of it. This is all part of it, yeah.
I was about to feel bad if I called it silly.
No, I mean, you can say it feels, even if I came up with it. But yeah, I mean, that was my worry too, that it was kind of silly, Morgan. And kind of out of place with everything else
I mean,
that's
we had
happened.
been attacked by animals and stuff, but I just remember because we went to the swamp, right? Because we thought the animals went there or something.
You went to the swamp because there were like signs and clues pointed there, and also Frank was getting visions.
Yeah.
together.
Okay. And I just remember being like, okay, we gotta go here, and then I was like, come on, like.
Yeah. Well, is there a better way to end that?
I don't know, like.
Because I don't want to. Because I was thinking just now, like maybe they all just run at you with knives, and you have to kill them.
The kids.
Yeah. But I think you guys could figure out ways to not kill them.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Well, and that is true. Like, what are you gonna do with a gator other than?
Yeah, like you can't like I'm gonna bring you in, Gator Chimera.
Yeah.
Yeah, giant monster man.
I guess I forgot that they were
handcuff you.
chimeras too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was reading back on something, and to Adam's point, like we were putting together a little bit, but then clearly I wasn't, because I literally wrote down ties back to Egypt, Bast versus Neferkan.
Well,
I'm like, oh, it mentions Bast in my notes even.
yeah, Bass was mentioned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, huh.
yeah,
When you guys were
put that part
yeah,
together,
you guys
yeah.
were explaining some of this to Pizzarella, and he brought up of Bast and like her teeth. She
Uh-huh.
had teeth in that.
Did Pizzarelli know about the teeth prior to Cornucopia House?
No.
That was something I thought about later. Is like, how much did he know prior to this? Was
Nothing.
this like a cycle he was perpetuating, or were we the first to kind of figure it out?
Nope, this was not. This is all new to him.
Copy.
He was a bad guy, right?
I mean,
I wouldn't say so.
Even at the end.
I wouldn't say
he's as bad as any Delta Green agent. Like,
so. I tried to portray Pizzarelli as pretty understandable and pretty like helpful.
even after we fucked up, he was still like, "Hey, like,
Here's your out.
here's a shot." Like,
Like one of the things I intentionally did was like no matter when you called him, he was always going to be awake for you. So like I always made him very available, and whenever you like were telling him things that had happened, and he was always like, "Okay, all right."
he never got mad about anything. I
I feel
actually
like
remember
he did.
he did.
He did. He got mad in the first interaction you guys had with him,
That's fair.
Which is, yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
I'll give him that one.
but
But,
then after that he was calm.
but I was about to say, like, the whole time he was really like just like results oriented. Like, what's the information? What do you need from me?
Well, at the same time, of course, later we found out he was keeping track of our families and
For sure.
keeping information on us, you know.
Sure.
But he's probably doing that to all of his groups of Delta agents.
Yep.
You know, Delta Green agents.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so that was the end of White Teeth, end of 2016. So, like I said, from other campaigns, skip the rest and go right to the raid on the ice facility.
Crazy.
What?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, from here to the ice facility.
What?
And
That's crazy.
it's like, what's the campaign then? I don't get it. Like, you just learn your teeth. All right, now go. Like, now's your choice
Finish
to
it.
Now
stop.
go be a
Yeah.
tooth or
You don't
not.
even use your powers for anything.
Yeah, that does keep it very... I guess it follows the one story point, and that's it. It's
Yeah.
like Cornucopia, Cornucopia Kids, ending Cornucopia. It's just 1-1-1 instead of the rest of it gives you actual flavor and depth to the rest of everything that's happening.
It's like Batman Begins up until his first night as Batman, then Batman Dark Knight Rises. They just skip everything else.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think that would have worked for us as a campaign.
No.
But also, our campaign went very long, so maybe there's a middle ground to that. So, I thought it was important to show Bast wanting to hunt down the mythos entities or tainted individuals. So we can go over these. These next scenarios are what's called God's Hunt. These are supplemental scenarios. There's 4 of them: God's Eye, God's Breath, God's Law, and God's Light. So, with God's Eye, first we meet our first replacement PC. Morgan's character had lost 3 of her limbs, but due to her exposure to Babushka's milk, the plan was always for Moraine to regrow her limbs. And I decided, however, she would recover slowly, because that way I wanted surviving members of the original team to get to the finale, at least some of them, so having her out temporarily was pretty helpful. So we created a new PC, Robin Reyes.
Real swell gal.
Who was my favorite PC. But we opened with a Robin-only scene where she kills Detective Velasquez, who had continued to dig into the truth of Cornucopia House. You were sadistic from the very start, which was very good. You went and reported to Pizzarelli, showing he was aware of what you did.
Maybe that's why I think Pizzarelli's a bad guy.
I mean,
to a certain extent.
And then he brought you in as kind of a mole for the other agents to see. He was concerned about the abilities you were showing. All were showing. So, the mole part is in the book. As far as like if you bring in a replacement NPC, maybe an idea is they could go in as a mole and stuff and not get bit. Not be an official tooth. But we brought everyone back in the room. Tim told his wife the truth about Delta Green, which was a big mistake.
Right. Yeah. We had been through so much together up to this point. Yeah. We had a baby boy and
she
everything.
Beat cancer. Yeah.
She beat cancer. Yeah.
We did a little more with Jake and Frank's families. Touched upon Moraine stuck at her family farm with the hole. The team then went to Reno. A Cornucopia House young genius was using drones he had once worked on, along with some cartel sicarios, to enact some rituals using murders and a geographic pattern. He was trying to bring a connection to his god, Shani Vashtar, but the spell was actually for Yog-Sothoth, the gatekeeper and the Undying One. As a side effect of this ritual, people who understand what's going on, the drone will disappear them if it can see them. So, after an investigation, pretty much all the drone company was snatched away by the drone, thanks to the team sharing the information with them. Threats were made. The team got a limo and a driver to take them where they needed to go from that point on. Unfortunately, Jake Blevins got out of the limo and got teleported away, sent to a spider realm to die.
But did you write any further or in your head dream about what Jake Blevins was doing there? Did he
died.
Just die quickly?
We caught up with him when he was there in the spider realm. He was listening to a voicemail from his wife.
Yeah.
That was really sad. And he was tied up by giant spiders and died.
I think he survived.
Maybe. Yeah, we don't know yet. He could come back.
I will play him again.
Meanwhile, halfway through the scenario, Moraine was kidnapped from her family farm by her former boyfriend, James Black of Pisces. And this will be picked back up in the next scenario. The rest of the team panicked after Jake disappeared, but they eventually caught up with the kid. The driver panicked also, but you guys caught up with the kid, Anthony Cooper. He was methed out, pathetic. Thomas killed him with a knife. With him dead, the drone ritual was over and the team returned to Reno. However, Robin decided to silence the driver and slit his throat while he was driving, causing a car crash that broke Thomas's neck, sending him into a coma. Frank went home after making sure medical care looked after Thomas. So this scenario, I generalized it, but this was a pretty complicated scenario to figure out what was happening.
Yeah.
And as a game master, it was really hard to get across to you guys what was happening without just saying it. So, also, this
I
one...
feel like I remember us being frustrated in this scenario.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Also, it has the potential to really take apart parties and kill a lot of players.
Oh, yeah.
It's an insta-kill if it sees you.
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking, like, maybe if I'm, like, not in eye contact or not in direct line of sight, it won't work.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
We should have tried it on the drive.
Not the case.
And so the connection to cornucopia to the scenario was the person responsible for the ritual was a cornucopia kid. So a pretty strong connection. A pretty good example of this is your guys' fault for not getting rid of the kids at the time. If you had done that, then this wouldn't have happened. Mm-hmm. So, and then also, like I said, this is the introduction of Robin. Robin got bit by an Egyptian Mao at the airport and became a tooth.
I can't remember if we did the Velasquez killing separate from them. Or
Yes, we did.
So, because I do remember they all immediately hated Robin for no reason.
Well,
you guys didn't know I killed Velasquez.
Well, it was interesting because we did that separately. They all thought, because you told them you were admin, they all laughed at you and thought you were like a secretary. And they're like, okay, you're gonna get ruined by this. Whatever you say, lady.
Because we all had our jobs. Like, I was a cop, and Toby was like a blue or white collar FBI. You know.
Yeah.
So
Jake was a sheriff at the time.
Sheriff.
You said you were an admin.
So yeah, you were an FBI admin.
No, she was CIA.
CIA admin.
Yeah, that's the evil branch.
So that's probably why.
But with this scenario, would you keep this scenario? Would you get rid of it?
I don't know that the whole thing was fully... I mean, I didn't dislike it. I was really upset when Jake Blevins died. But one of us was bound to die, right?
Sure.
I mean,
But Jake Blevins was selfishly, like, my favorite. Like, I thought he was very funny, and he added a lot of levity to our group.
it was still good, though.
It was still good.
It was fun. I think maybe...
Not the insta-kill, because then
Power
you risk...
roll?
Yeah, maybe there's more of a role or like less of a permanent... Maybe it creates more of a situation where, like, they're transported somewhere else and you have to go get them or something. Mm-hmm. As opposed to just like, oh yeah, you're now in, like, a guaranteed death realm and there's no way your party can reach you.
Yeah. They're held in some kind of buffer in the drone, so you have time.
If you shut the drones down, they return or something. I don't know.
Or even a way, maybe, to reverse what was done on the drone, so they bring them back.
Doctor Who.
Yeah. But looking back on all my notes of the scenario, there was just a lot of stuff in this one.
For sure.
To try to put together so many different names that come with, like, just everything we were trying to put together here. Like, yeah.
So, next scenario was God's Breath, which took place a year later. So, Thomas was in a coma. Tim couldn't make some sessions, so he remained there for a bit. Moraine was missing, having been kidnapped. So, and then Adam got a new PC, Bob Barnwell. Adam, you and I didn't talk a lot about Bob beforehand, in contrast to Morgan and I about Robin. But one idea you had was Bob saved a group of kids before, and he has a special desire to protect kids. And I suggested that maybe he failed to save the kids and have something to redeem himself for. Obviously setting up for the finale and creating different sides. Mm-hmm. We started out with another Robin Reyes assassination. This time Adam and Toby listened in. With Thomas in his coma and him revealing Delta Green to his journalist wife. His wife has started to dig into Delta Green, so Robin went and killed her with Pineapple watching.
This felt really dirty to listen to. This felt like we were keeping a secret from Tim.
I loved killing
my notes right
Thomas's wife. I thought I did a really good job killing his wife.
She did die.
And Toby, when Tim was back, said, hold on.
No, this is so
Toby,
funny.
when Tim was back...
Because we were keeping it a secret.
We were keeping it a secret, and Toby, when Tim was back, was like, now, do we know about his wife's death? I know you know. And he pointed towards Morgan. And I'm like...
See? But in my notes, though, I wrote right here, on way to Denver, learn wife committed suicide and decide to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So I still wrote down like, oh, she just committed suicide.
When did you learn that Robin killed your wife?
I think you just got the sense or something, right?
I think got the sense, but then it was more
It for
upfront
sure
at the
was
very
revealed at a certain point.
end. Yeah.
It was, but not. It was like thought up and stuff, and like you can kind of reason out that it was Robin, and then Robin revealed it to Moraine.
Yeah. But then also during the firefight, I think, or one of the last ones where me and Robin went at it when she was an NPC still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the team met up. A former cornucopia house kid died in a jail cell after a worm burrowed out of him. Frank, Bob, and Robin went to Colorado to find out the deets. Frank was the only active member of Team Masticate at the time. After dealing with some corrupt prison guards, the investigation points directly at a weed dispensary and grower. The weed is having unnatural effects, and if allowed to continue, would cause many more deaths. The cornucopia house kid was just sensitive to it due to his past, so he got the effects first. So it's kind of a warning of how bad things would get with the plot. So this is another example of, with these kids' death, they're pointing towards something, they're communicating with you. So there's a big backstory in this one about the way the founder got his hands on the unnatural plant. It involves former villains from Delta Green's meta history, the Cho-Cho and their companies. It's not important, and with you guys without meta knowledge, I felt like it was confusing and not helpful. But it's nice for veteran Delta Green players. Once you get your target, the mission becomes simply raid the dispensary, steal the millions in cash they have in their vault, and destroy the building. To do this,
Money was useful.
well, to do this, we brought in another SWAT team of backup characters you would use on the raid itself, which I think was a good idea. So this mission is the third raid in the story at this point. There's Cornucopia House, the Scopsy Church being first two, and gives another example of what to do on raids and what not to do on raids. There were some interesting things they could do, such as one example they did was executing one of the leaders at home. Another was turning an employee trader and getting inside information. Running this again, I would be way more blatant and be much more hand-holdy with the SWAT team, basically giving you, here are some different options you can do when planning a raid.
Yeah.
And I would be a lot more blatant with, here's things to look out for in order to try to stealth your way in. That way, when it comes time for the finale, I just
Kind of
leave it for
trains
you
you
guys.
Yeah. It was hard to know what the game was going to consider important in certain raids. Hard to decide like what to focus on, I guess, when planning things out. Because it felt like we spent a lot of time on things that just ended up not mattering at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think some of that, like you said, that hand-holding could have helped.
Yeah.
Just kind of guide us towards that.
Just to train you for the finale. But Thomas woke up in the middle of the game as Tim came back. Before waking up, I gave him a coma dream like in Twin Peaks, and involved his dead wife, although he couldn't hear what she was saying. There was Pineapple the cat there. There was a red-breasted bird there.
Man with a bullhead and shaking hands with Donald Trump.
Yes, he was there too. Yeah, and throughout all these scenes, I kept bringing up Trump on the TV and stuff, and kept trying to get your characters to talk about him, because I knew the finale was gonna, in part, be like as a result of Trump being the president at that time, and the program not wanting to specifically brief him.
Yeah.
But Thomas woke up, and he was filled with a mission from Pineapple in the dream to go to Colorado to save his team and Moraine and join up with the group there. Pitts tried to tell him he wasn't needed and that his wife now dead, he could go find his son, but he didn't listen. During the raid, lots of people died, bug monsters flew, and they found Moraine unconscious with a plant growing out of her chest.
Super cool.
So I had put James Black and his fellow Shan Pisces agents in the scenario, replacing the security company that was part of the scenario. Players say Moraine killed James Black's vessel, though the Shan flew away. But he didn't come back in the story. The plant freed itself before being killed, then was run over by a car. Moraine was saved, and due to the babushka milk, slowly recovered her limbs. The money was recovered and placed in a green box, although some of you took some money.
Does he still think about me? My bug boyfriend?
No. overall, one issue I had with this one is I feel like with a lot of this campaign, the bad guys usually aren't aware of you guys until the final battle. So there isn't some sort of like countdown or timer or things that they're working on that you have to stop them immediately. So like it's not like a couple days is a huge difference in pretty much all these scenarios. And I like having NPCs doing their own maneuvering against you guys, like Robin was doing at the end, or like kind of the Nazis were doing in the Weimar Berlin campaign. Mm-hmm. But in this case, the agents, you're just too aware and knowledgeable compared to your enemies, and they're just sitting there waiting for you to come surprise them. Yeah. So this one obviously dealt with favoritism in businesses and crony capitalist principles between regulators and the new cannabis marketplace. Safety regulations ignored and competitors hindered because the owner is friends with the governor. And like I said, the only cornucopia house connection is the first victim. A worm burrows out of him because due to an adverse reaction to the weed. So what do you think about this one? Would you keep this one?
Was this the one where we found the kid like falling and like shredding his body apart?
No.
No, okay. Apologies.
I mean, this one was fine as far as like you mentioned, it only has the one connection to the cornucopia kid. Like, I could see skipping this one if you wanted to, but also it gave a good in for Moraine
to come back.
Yeah.
I think you could tighten it up a lot and just use it as kind of like, here's a guide on how to do a raid, like you were saying, but really shorten it on... Because honestly, a lot of it was us like waffling back and forth on what to do.
Because in this one, you couldn't go in without giving your IDs and like being on camera and everything, and that made you all skittish, so you didn't do any undercover stuff.
For sure. Yeah. And I think there was a point, and this may have been the kind of beginning of it, like you said, where honestly anywhere we went, we were like, we got to get a hold of the cameras here. We got to make sure we clear out, like, we got to make sure we're not on footage.
I think that's something with Delta Green specifically. Like, when we're playing Call of Cthulhu and we're in the 20s, we're less worried about just doing investigative work.
Yeah.
But in Delta Green, we were constantly thinking about a consequence to every single action, our IDs, us being looked up, the cameras. And I think that's partially because I made such a big mistake with like talking to those people in the beginning that I think I was waffling no matter what the decision was. And I'd usually kind of go along with what seemed to be the most popular decision. But then we would go back and forth. And that took up a lot of time that we could have just been role-playing. So maybe it's like a lesson in that we just need to commit to a decision.
Because this was 4 scenarios.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, on the Delta Green thing, not providing us support. Like, if we make a mistake, we're just immediately burned. So...
Yeah.
They're not ever going to comment.
I think I've never felt that fear of decision making outside of, like, I do feel it just as a person. I feel like I struggle in games in general, but in Delta Green specifically, I'm thinking of every single consequence to every single action. Because like you said, every time I make a decision, like, this wasn't a win-win scenario. There wasn't a right decision a lot of the times, and there was going to be consequences. So we were always trying to negate consequences to the best of our ability, but it turned into us playing a game way too long because we just weren't making decisions.
Okay. Alright, and then the third scenario in God's Hunt was God's Law. This one started off again with just Morgan, Adam, and Toby, as Tim couldn't make it initially. Morgan was now playing the healed Moraine Moss. This is the only God's Hunt scenario where Robin does not open the scenario with an assassination, simply because there's no one to fill that role. So Robin doesn't appear in the scenario at all. So start out with some personal bond scenes. Bob's mom got cancer, and Adam made sure it was not treatable.
Wait, what?
He's really mean with bonds.
I remember playing your mother and just being like, wait, am I gonna see you soon? Or something.
Yeah.
I think you just really laid on how, like, much she loved me and how sad she was that she was dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moraine's dad was concerned about Moraine and her limbs being back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being kidnapped before. He was trying to get her to stop doing these missions before it's too late.
What would you have done if I just fully retired?
And pick another character.
Oh.
Yeah.
And also at the end of the last session, the God's Breath, you got bit by an animal when you got home, Bob. So that was your chipping. And if you'll notice, both Bob's chipping and Robin's chipping happened in 2016 and 2017, before Conradin started doing his thing in his facility. So that's kind of a hint that Conradin doesn't know what he's doing, and that it didn't need to happen, the ice facility, in order to create new agents.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't put that together at all.
Yeah. Like, there's also, we'll get to later with Robin using pineapple to bite.
Right.
There's nothing special about pineapple. It's
Did
just,
she think there was something special about pineapple?
it works, but
Yeah.
it's nothing special about pineapple, and it is creating more teeth too. So everyone thinks they figured out how to create teeth or whatever, and
But it's really just Bass.
it's whatever Bast wants. So Maureen got a call from a former cornucopia house kid who had found her contact long ago after seeing them on TV during Red Thoughts at the mass gravesite. The kid says he saw something in Los Angeles where someone pulled his own head apart. And the kid doesn't want to be found and hangs up. Moraine tells Pitts, and Pitts says he'll put a bug and tracer on your team's phones from here on out. Moraine agrees. That's from the draft version of the scenario, that call. In the final version of the scenario, this connection is absent, and there is literally like no connection to the cornucopia house in the scenario.
Why?
There just isn't.
Huh.
You get like alerted of it by like a random text that has like a cat something in there. I don't even remember it, but like there's just nothing connected to the children at all.
I mean, I guess the scenarios are supposed to be the supplement, so it's a flyover. You're just doing more Delta Green stuff, but you would think each one should be tied into cornucopia.
You would think so.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's why I included the draft version of that. But anyway, the video shows a podcaster and activist tearing his own skull apart with his bare hands. Said podcaster had been doing content on the Slug Squad, a deputy gang inside the LA Sheriff's Department. The Slug Squad had been killing witnesses against them in a raid they performed next to a daycare where kids ended up dying as a result. One of the Slug Squad had been under the control of an alien worm for some time. Again, another alien worm. Ever since a raid on the Southside Tiger, a serial killer. Anton Gully, the deputy, touched some substance he shouldn't have. Ever since then, the worm has been in control and wants to rain more of its kind into the world, experimenting with humans and some goop. The deputy continued the work of the possessed serial killer. He killed Gully's family, experimented on them, but they tore themselves apart. He tried on others, delivery worker and also the podcaster, that Marlin, leader of the squad, had instructed him to kill. So, theoretically in this, there was an opportunity to have fluid, villainous NPCs who were working against you guys. However, in this one, you guys did everything perfectly, and you moved way too fast and figured out things, and immediately got to the
Guy's house.
main villain's house, which was the best way forward. So I didn't really have any moves I could do against you guys, because Gully's not going to bring any backup, because the rest of the
We
Slug
hated
Squad...
Nazis. We're like, fuck these guys.
Because the rest of the Slug Squad doesn't know that Gully's a worm or what he's doing, so he can't have any backup come to his house.
Yeah.
So at one point, Gully came home, noticed you were inside, and left. But he has to come back because that's where his notes are, so he's kind of fucked. He can't bring anyone else in there, so like, what do you do?
I can't believe there's so many stories in this one. Like, I remember all of these, but there's the app, and there's all these teeth things, and then there's the weed, and then there's the drones, and I'm like, God, there's so much.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, like I said, good job being smart and knowing your advantages and disadvantages. You guys figured it out very good. You did meet Helena Estevez, an immigration lawyer who was working pro bono going after the Slug Squad on behalf of the victims of the shootout near the daycare. She gave them the lowdown on the 4 members: John Marlin, the leader; Anton Gully, Freddie Sutton, the Nazi; and Julian Sains, the gunslinger. Estevez had the potential to be a solid ally. It was clear she would be the next target of the Slug Squad, so she had cameras set up everywhere. Mid-scenario, Tim came back, and we caught up with what his character has been doing. He's been traveling the country in an RV with Pineapple, relying on the cat and his scent power. The scent gives them the ability to find the unnatural. To find unnaturally tainted people. We get this ambiguous whether all these people were truly evil or if Thomas was just losing it and murdering people.
And I was doing it with my son, too.
Yeah, and then Pineapple then pointed to Los Angeles, and your son wasn't with you at this point. And once there in Los Angeles, you crossed paths with the rest of the team and then went to Applebee's.
Yep.
Pitts didn't invite Thomas because of his wife's death, and he was trying to be kind and let Thomas leave the program and take care of his son. During the scenario, Thomas left Pineapple in the RV in a mobile home lot, which was found by the Slug Squad and captured by John Marlin. The end of the scenario involved a fight with the worm inside Gully, which ended up luckily cutting off only Thomas's limbs and hurting Moraine. Due to their ingestion of Babushka's milk, they would recover while still losing their intelligence. So I don't know if I fully explained the milk before, but in Red Thoughts, it was shown that the milk would give people, like rats, like it would heal them, and also eventually give them tumors and like decrease their intelligence and kill them. So it was a good thing and a bad thing. But you guys killed Gully, burned the house, faked Thomas's death, and you guys decided the rest of the Slug Squad wasn't your problem, and you can't fix every problem. Which is a big thing in the campaign that I wanted to hit on. Just how difficult it is to do good when it comes at your own expense. How easy it is to say, it's not my problem, I've done enough. Because it's the same reason so many people in the background of Red Thoughts use with the cornucopia hits foster situations and stuff like that. So, Pineapple in the RV is left behind in the Slug Squad's hands. Thomas and Moraine decide to go back to Moss Family Farm to recover from their wounds. At a gas station, the devil appears again, saying to Thomas it might be time to go back to sleep, and asking him to realize what has been done to him. Again, setting up the future conflict that I wanted in the finale. Overall, I think this scenario can vary wildly in experience because there's a lot the deputy could have done to you guys if you guys didn't immediately go to the right house and figure it out. But you played it perfectly, so that I didn't really have any chess moves I could play against you. So this one was 3 sessions long. So, yeah. What did you guys' thoughts on this one?
Well, I can't say too much because I wasn't there for the first
True.
half of it, but I still enjoyed the hell.
I really enjoyed us taking out that guy in the house and fighting him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we learned, like we got all his notes and he was just kind of, he wasn't like in the right, he wasn't doing the math correctly or something like that. I remember.
Correct, you guys did correct the math.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, just us being in the house and being united. It felt like one of those campaigns where we were all just able to make choices, and I don't know why it felt easier to make choices in this one, except maybe like we're like, oh, this guy's a fucking Nazi and he's crazy.
Well, this guy wasn't even the Nazi one.
No, like we just hated him, so we just
we were on a roll. We were able to agree on things and just stay productive.
I think the good vibes was because you figured it out the right person and you knew you were pretty safe. You knew like you had,
for sure.
Yeah,
like,
when
you
we
had
don't
all
feel
the advantages
when
right
we
now.
don't feel safe, we definitely cower a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if you don't like about us or if you do like.
I don't like.
Do you like that it takes us several sessions to plan something out because we obsess over not fucking things up?
No action.
So you would still keep this as part of the campaign, or
Purely because we did so well, yes.
but as a scenario itself?
It's hard for me to differentiate
Because like.
because I liked how we did, and that's how I think of it.
I would agree. It's not necessary for the overall story, but I feel like having gone through all 4 of these and the next one.
Well, the next one I say is necessary.
Yeah, the next one is necessary, but like it definitely adds so much each little bit.
Do a lot of people use the Slug Squad later too?
No.
Okay,
Not at all.
Because that was
Okay.
what I would say is like I think it really set up the Slug Squad for later for us to really like distrust them.
Yeah, because we knew them from a moral standpoint already that they were shitty
but that's
people.
interesting that most people don't utilize the Slug Squad.
I don't think I've seen anyone ever do that.
Yeah, because that immediately, like, they were our enemy when they came around again. To the point that we're like, we got to take care of them first before we figure out the kids.
Oh, yeah, whenever Robin showed back up with the Slug Squad, we were like, no, fuck all y'all.
Well, yeah, and that's what we'll get to right now. So the last one in God's Hunt was God's Light. Took place in 2019 in the northeastern part of America. We have one more assassination scene with Robin Reyes killing the immigration lawyer Melina Estevez in a parking garage. You were alone for this one. You cut off an identifying tattoo on her arm and took it to the Slug Squad's office at the Sheriff Department. There she met Marlon and the rest of the team. Marlon, seeing the tattoo, smiles and hears Robin's proposition. So Estevez had a role to play in the finale. It's in the book. But as a consequence of the not my problem attitude towards Marlon and the other squad members, she gets taken out by Robin as a way to win over Marlon's trust.
So you're blaming us?
I mean, there's just consequences and stuff, and that's just a story.
Yeah.
You don't like that, Toby?
I don't know about the not my problem per se. It was just extremely problematic to go and deal with them for us.
Oh, I agree. It wouldn't be,
public
it wouldn't be
figures.
easy. I agree.
It's not like we wanted to kill them.
I agree you wanted to, but it was going to be difficult. So,
Yeah, without
It
just...
almost felt impossible.
Yeah, because they
I
were
think
part
a
of
lot
the
of
police
this
department
campaign
and
felt
everything.
impossible.
Yeah, or it was like
There was no good solution.
that was a kind of a coin flip on whether or not we were going to survive that. Maybe not even survive, but be able to continue on after.
That we weren't hunted down by the authorities, basically.
in the book, there's different ways to get them alone. One of the ways is using Estevez as bait. Like having her drive out of town or somewhere, or like a radio that she's stuck on the side of a highway or something. And then all four of them will come out there and try to deal with her alone. And you also had Gully's phone, which you could have used to set up some sort of meeting, and like say you have evidence of some of the stuff they've done. Stuff like that. I mean, there was different ways you could go about it. But anyway, back to God's Light. So Thomas and Moraine have spent their time recovering on the family farm. One day, while eating steak around the hole, their silverware, their tools are pulled into the hole, and they have to eat with their own hands, tearing it apart with just their teeth and claws, and nails. The meat tastes delicious. This is the first hint of a few.
We got it eventually.
Yeah.
I didn't. It took me.
Pitts then calls them in, leaving out Thomas again, maybe out of guilt or perceived lack of competency. Also, like, after Robin kills Thomas's wife, she doesn't report back to Pizzarelli, so it's ambiguous whether Pizzarelli knew about the assassination beforehand or not.
Well, and I remember Robin did it because she was like, she knows about Delta Green, so she's got to go.
She is a dangerous... I mean, she's literally a journalist. And she's already been briefed on a lot of Delta Green by Thomas.
Yeah.
But anyway, so a cornucopia kid has shot up a sorority using a gun that's strangely made by a company that doesn't exist. After their initial briefing, Moraine, Thomas, Bob, and Frank are all introduced to Team Gorge. Headed by Robin Reyes, the group is made up of the rest of the Slug Squad: John Marlin, Freddie Sutton, and Julian Sains. And again, consequences for can't fix every problem in the world. And there's several reasons why I did this. I wanted to have more opportunities for people to explore the alternate reality bubbles of this scenario. I wanted fodder to try and give the main PCs more of a chance to survive this scenario. I wanted to set up Gorge as a mirror image inverse of Massacre for the finale and pit both teams against each other. And I wanted to introduce them now, so that was... You got to... Because you didn't really get to know a lot of them, especially Marlon. And I don't think you ever ended up getting to know Marlon very well, and that was a failure on my part. But then I also wanted to introduce friction between Masticate and Delta Green and the program as an entity. So, that was my goals there.
Yeah, because I mean, up until this point, Delta Green, it's just been Pizzarelli to us, So that was really good overall.
Yeah.
Good way to use them.
And then he went off to campus and, through a quick investigation, determined the shooter had items from an alternate reality. A reality filled with a matriarchal, nightmarish world of men losing their manhood and ruled over by women. And they quickly find out this stems from an app called Picky Eater.
Pizzagate.
Not even close.
Same.
So, You guys didn't fully get what was going on here for some time.
No, I was confused.
I think one of your ideas was this guy was originally from another reality, and he came over. Instead of he was originally from our reality, he went over to a different reality and then came back.
Yeah.
Which is what happened. There was also an idea, I think, that there was one single alternate reality that everyone was coming from. But in reality, each instance of Picky Eater on the phones was generating a personal alternate reality for the user. Also, if you handled a Picky Eater phone or were near a phone that was infected, your electronics would be infected once you used your item again. Everyone quickly got infected except for Toby.
Yes. Why are you shaking your head? Why would I turn on my phone?
The two teams tracked how he got the app in a path that merged. Tracing it backwards, they entered alternate reality bubbles at each location. Some people staying outside the bubble, some going in. Those on the outside thinking nothing was wrong with their fellow agents not being there. The world's Picky Eater generated included a radical Muslim jihadist fantasy world with a global caliphate. Another one where pedophilia was legal and fine.
Succulent Chinese child?
This was a professor who came back and was like showing pictures of himself with his child bride to a coworker, and he's like, "What's the big deal? The reforms were made."
You don't like my wife?
A world where the program Delta Green was public and the war against the mythos had been won. A nightmare.
Like a good one.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
A nightmarish Obama ruled nightmare using conservatives' greatest fears. That was my favorite one.
I like that one.
A world where the government came and grabbed your children for sacrifice to a god in order to help improve society overall.
Shit.
I'm sorry. It's fine.
What have you done?
You broke it.
So part of that, so breaking the bubbles relies on either team inside or out destroying one of the connecting electronics. Once they do, the bubble pops and the original person returns to reality, often traumatized, such as the case was with the Delta Green agent who thought the war had been won. Imagine winning and going back. It's like, nope. Eat shit. Also, you're about to die.
Oh my god.
The second to last bubble they came across was Vicky, a former grad student of Dr. Wesley Cool, now single mother of two girls. Vicky,
Oh yeah.
they learned Cool created this app, Piggy Eater, and the hardware it runs on. In the bubble, her kids aged massively, coming out at 10 years older than they were supposed to be. While Bob was trying to decide what to do with these kids, he stepped out to call Pitts. Meanwhile, Robin inside got a call saying it was Pitts too. She then killed the mom, Vicky, and one of the daughters before being stopped by Moraine, where Moraine choked her. The two teams pointed guns at each other and seemed close to a shootout until John Marlin calmed everyone down by saying, "Let's check Robin's phone to see if it was Pizzarelli." And it was he who called her, an alternate Pizzarelli maybe. As each agent was slowly creating their own bubbles of reality. So you guys would have been trapped in your own different alternate reality based on whatever your guys' personalities focused on. But there wasn't enough time to get into that. Bob threatened to kill Robin and bury her in the desert.
Damn.
The remaining kid was taken to the police station, and Thomas gave Nakia Chilkov a call to come help her. Hopefully it was the Nakia from that reality.
Probably was, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Bob would get like messages from his mom from the alternate reality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was rough.
You guys went to MIT. You encountered two different campuses as Dr. Wesley Cool's bubble is huge now. In the real world, he's been missing for years after getting a grad student pregnant. In the fantasy bubble, he's the most popular man ever, a wizard of tech, and beloved by all with no criticism. The teams put together Cool was trying to get to the place beyond dimensions in order to meet the Undying One, the guardian threshold and avatar of Yog-Sothoth. And there's also a little bit in there about Anthony Cooper being involved, who had done the drone program in God's Eye. Which, as written, he wasn't involved in the creation of the app. I said he was, so there was more of a direct connection. But as written, it's mentioned he was at MIT at the same time, but he didn't do anything with this app, really.
Oh.
So,
I mean, with considering how he ended up with the drones and everything, it makes.
and they're
more
both
sense.
they're both looking for Yog-Sothoth, basically, accidentally.
Yeah.
But anyway, both teams switched to the alternate reality. The Ascent is going nuts. You find he's constructed a Picky Eater inside a Picky Eater and is transcended to the plane between worlds. There, you guys find him in a daze. The sky dark and wet, surrounded by circuits, feeding into pools of black water. There's black rocks all around. He is easily killable. You guys didn't kill him yet, but you definitely could have. But you're all in there, and you guys have to destroy one of the right circuits in order to get back to the world and stop Picky Eater. But at that moment, the Undying One arrives, and he goes up to Dr. Cool goes up to the Undying One. They speak for a moment, and then the Undying One sends Dr. Cool wherever he wanted to go. So he
didn't kill him?
He did. Yeah, he won. He got his wish. He got to join Yarxathoth, whatever.
Which probably just broke his sanity and, died in another way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's not coming back or anything like that, but...
Yeah.
You guys decide, alright, we're going to have to fight, and because the gunslinger was fastest, he shot first, and then was turned into a human slinky being pulled apart and put back together over and over and over again. That taught you not to attack him with a tool, with a gun. The Undying One then asks a series of questions about reality and truth and right and wrong and madness. The answers in the book are all looking for something philosophical and nihilistic. As written, if we had just done that, everyone would have died except for Adam. He's the only one that gave the answers it wanted.
I'm just that smart.
If you succeeded, you got a wish from the Undying One.
I still can't believe that all my answers were wrong.
None of you were very serious except for Adam. You guys were being real goofy.
I looked up the correct definition.
Yeah, you were being goofy.
It's not goofy. That's just... He doesn't know what a phone is.
So...
He's a god.
So
He's a god. He doesn't know what a phone is.
Doesn't know what a phone is. Does he have a phone? Oh.
You don't know that. Anyway.
So, obviously I had written something different ahead of time anyway, which was lucky. I didn't think you guys would do that badly, but I didn't bring it in because I thought you'd do badly. I'd bring it in because I thought it's an important change. But the whole campaign has been about hunting the mythos. Srinivasha wants to devour gods. So, the culmination of the tyrant plot that began with Srinivasha answered the prayers of the children happened here. All the pain and suffering they went through was necessary to come to this moment. And I made it so you guys would be able to eat and kill the Undying One.
I loved eating it.
Yeah.
So
I remember I was trying to hit it and nothing was working, and then Tim was like, "I'll bite it," and I remember being like, "What?" And then it worked, and I was like, "Nice."
So
it was so cool.
And everything kind of led to this and having the right number of people in order to do this, because 2 people died. Julian died, and then Freddie died as part of the Slug Squad. And so several things worked to achieve the right number of people being there. Drinking Babushka's milk allowed Moraine and Thomas to recover from mortal injuries later on, with some downsides, obviously. But without the milk, Moraine dies in 2016 to the Gator Chimeras. Yeah. So that she's done. If the Gators don't take out Moraine temporarily, Robin isn't brought in during God's Eye. If Robin wasn't brought in during God's Eye, she would have been during God's Breath to replace Jake, meaning Bob wouldn't have been with the group during this climax. If the agents had killed off the Slug Squad, there wouldn't have been enough people to stand against the Undying One, with at least 2 of you dying. And if Thomas hadn't been insane enough to try just biting him, thanks to his wife's death and his mind being broken.
Crazy.
So yeah. And you were given hints with the hole, and then there was at the motel breakfast where there were no utensils, so you did just use your hands.
I don't get hints like that.
So again, this change wasn't a retcon as a get out of trouble card. It was just, I wanted this change to be the culmination of the story. Most of the people in the Handlers Discord don't like the change that I did.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I loved it.
There's a couple who did. One in particular noted the thematic elements of it, with this unknowable, mysterious, eldritch entity trying to riddle its victims on the true nature of the universe, and the response being, "I'm going to eat you alive." That's the true nature of the universe.
Yeah.
I get to
Eat or be eaten.
Yeah, eat or be eaten.
Well, and we're literally this whole campaign is us eating, being teeth for this other god.
And this is now you're at the foot of a god.
Yeah.
Now's the time to bite.
Do it.
And it definitely
Is what you're
after the
for.
fact, of course, putting it all together, just it makes it so much better in
Yeah.
my mind. If that wasn't the case, it was just riddle me this and then we get out or we don't get out.
Yeah, it's
It would have been such a letdown.
it's such a letdown going into like the finale. Then also like,
Yeah.
but in this case, it's a huge win going into the finale, and like,
It was nice having a big win in one of these, right? Like,
Well, it also sets up the characters as far as like, oh, we had purpose. We went
Yeah.
through all this traumatic
worked.
stuff.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like, there was a reason for it, and it did end up with us killing a god. So
Something
whenever-
did come of it.
Yeah, so whenever we were presented with the final scenario, it was like, okay, maybe I could see
There's
the
an
other
argument.
side of keeping it going, because we did kill a god.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
and like you were saying just now, Adam, about like something came of it. Like that's a good feeling now. Like in the immediate aftermath of that scenario, and it's like, well, their suffering was worth it. But then in the finale, given the choice to, and would you like to do it again?
Yeah.
That's the thing that's like, ah, fuck. Because if you didn't have a choice in what happened, it's like,
Yeah, it's like-
at least something good happened.
Yeah.
But if you have to choose again, it's like,
I don't know.
but yeah, so you guys figured out you need to eat him. Freddy Sounds got killed during this final fight. When describing this, I described how everyone's point of view came to see overhead in like third person, hovering above and behind you guys. That's meant to be Bast's perspective, as she's like working through you guys as you're just chewing.
Yeah.
And I was picturing the scene in Twin Peaks Season 3, Episode 8, where the woodsmen come out of the fog and put their hands in the wounds of a dead Mr. C, smearing blood all over him. In slow motion while a slow Moonlight Sonata plays while flashes of light illuminate the scene briefly. You know what I mean, Morgan, right?
I watched it with you.
Yeah. And then through that scene fading away until showing you guys stumbling around like zombies in this space, having finished your devouring, and your awareness slowly returning as you stumble. Again, I was picturing in that same episode of Twin Peaks where the woodsmen are shambling in front of the convenience store as time seems to skip forward and back in jerky motions and smoke appears and disappears. Anyway,
Very disconcerting.
yeah. It's supposed to be creepy and weird, but
Yeah.
anyway,
And we were all like, yeah!
it's also, yeah, it's good.
Well, and then we wandered the plains.
You
Yeah.
spent decades in this
Years.
space trying to find the right picky eater circuit, but you eventually found it, destroying it, starting a chain reaction, destroyed the others and all the other pools, the different realities. You deposited back at MIT. You were all now 10 years older physically than you were when you went in. I don't think that really came into the story at all.
Us being older.
Yeah.
I mean, it did a little bit, but not a significant amount. no.
My dad didn't seem to notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we utilized it slightly during the next scenario, the final scenario, as far as like, oh, we're older agents.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
just go in and tell them how it is.
Yeah.
I remember that being an
Yeah.
idea we brought up.
Yeah. But everyone went home. Moraine promised her dad she was done with her adventures.
Again.
Thomas was with his son and brother. Frank went home with his family where his job was pushing to get a job at the Bureau. Frank eventually concedes he could work in the mailroom. Bob returned home to an empty home with his dogs and mother's ashes. John Marlin and Robin Reyes return to L.A. where they make love, and we see that they still have Pineapple alive, trapped in a cage, despite telling Thomas that Pineapple was put down already due to age when he was found in the RV. So, overall, some small connections to Cornucopia House with the initial shooter and then bringing Anthony Cooper in. I think of the campaign, this is probably the most fun scenario. I like the alternate realities. I
loved the guy getting splat on the wall.
Yes, the racist,
Yeah.
anti-Obama guy.
I agree with you, Jackson. I really like the anti-Obama reality. That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. I've seen someone else say like they want to do this scenario. They haven't run it yet, where like they spend a session on each alternate reality.
That's a lot.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Although I would love more in the Obama space.
I could do a whole... I remember once we were just driving around talking about Champions when we first bought that game.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about, like, a version of that where all the heroes are, like, conservative, like, archetypes.
Yeah.
Would have been fun.
And like we've said, this is the biggest win of the campaign. And I like the idea of a big win right before the finale. as I think it leads you guys to think what on earth the finale could be.
Yeah.
So yeah, what did you think the finale was going to be at this point, after this win?
I thought it would be something regarding Conradin. I did think that. I thought we were going to come into some sort of conflict with him. Probably trying to keep it going again. I didn't know it was just... I didn't know the specifics, but that's what I thought.
I thought Conradin was going to be a lot more powerful. I thought we were going to go...
Yeah.
I know you guys did.
Yeah. I thought he was going to have magic.
I thought he was going to be... like basically
a
like
wizard,
like an avatar of Sredni Vashta.
Yeah, you thought he was going to be the speaker. Like,
Yeah.
And so like that's what I thought it was going to be. I thought he was going to be this avatar.
But you thought like the big thing would be taking down Conradin finally and Sredni Vashta or whatever.
Yeah, I thought by taking him out, we'd be stopping.
Because you never... I don't know if... You're saying a lot of stuff. Do you really think that after this one?
I just remember thinking the end for me was going to be killing Conradin.
Sure.
And then that changed.
But did you really think like he was doing everything again? Like he was doing...
I didn't think he was doing everything
didn't have
again.
a hint
I
of
just
that.
thought he was going to be some avatar of like Sredni Vashta. I didn't think
Sure.
the kids were going to be... There was going to be more kids.
So you thought like you'd be going against Sredni Vashta as
Yeah.
the finale.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of what you were thinking, Tim?
Honestly, I was trying to read back and just think of how I was thinking. I wasn't forward thinking on what the final would be,
Okay.
so I had no idea.
Okay.
I didn't perceive children being a part of it. I didn't
Sure.
perceive like we were restopping another cycle. I didn't even... I think like Sredni Vashta probably would find a way to get into some other kid, right? Like figure that out again, or Bast would.
I mean, you never actually work against Sredni Vashta's intentions at all
Right.
in the entire thing, except maybe with Moraine at the very, very end.
Yeah.
That was probably the one thing that Sredni Vashta did not want you to do. This was the one thing we did not want to happen.
Exactly.
We or like...
No, it's a video. Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of God's Hunt, those 4 scenarios. So, which of these would you kill? Would you knock off? So, in total, there was 16 scenarios, 16 sessions. Based on this,
I think I'd bounce the drone one, maybe.
you killed the drone one.
I would say keep the drone. Obviously, keep the last one with the piggy eater. The first 2, you could probably get rid of one of those. Either
The
one.
weed and the drone.
The weed one,
The
too.
weed one,
I might
maybe.
go back
I
to the
thought
weed
if-
one over the drone one.
I guess
I would keep the drone. I thought it was alright.
I think the drone is one of the drone and the app are the most unique ones.
Yeah.
I think the drone could be done
But
a little
the drone
differently.
is hard to do.
It's
The-
just
Right,
it's
'cause
it's
it
so
needs to
likely
kill.
to kill at least one party
Well-
member.
It's hard to understand also.
yeah. I think the weed one might have been good earlier on if it was clearer about us setting up like a team, because then we could have stolen some of the money specifically for our team.
Yeah, again, kind of a training for more.
Yeah, or if they're
Yeah, is it the order of everything? Obviously, God's light has to be last, but
Yeah.
did you change the order or anything? You said
just for the money. If there was a if we had a reason to steal the money, that we could then use it to better outfit ourselves or something.
Yeah.
That'd
Give
make
us
it
some
that mission
resources for the last session or last scenario.
because we can't know about the last scenario.
Right, we wouldn't
Before
know
then.
anything before any of these.
I would have
necessarily.
previously assumed that we would be working with Delta Green, and maybe we got more support from them in the last scenario. But
So for these 4, Morgan, you said get rid of the drone one.
I think just because
That's
maybe I'm
too
reading into
confusing.
it because Jake died, and that bothered me. But I know that sometimes people have to die in games.
Sometimes people do have to die, sadly.
Yeah.
I wish Jake had made it. I like Jake.
I liked Jake a lot.
I think he. I would have liked to seen him in the finale and seen what he would have done.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think Jake would have killed the kids?
I think Jake would have been much more I don't think Jake would have left it to chance. I think Jake, prior to going there, would have like put his foot down and made it clear that if anybody... I don't think Jake would have had like a side conversation and been like, I'm going to take her out if she tries to do this.
You don't think Jake would have killed those kids?
No, I think Jake would have killed you prior to... I think Jake would have done whatever he could to protect those kids, yeah. I think Jake was as close to like a true good character of all of us.
But I would say of the 4, probably take out the weed one.
That's what I would say.
I do like the fact that you could use it as a prep for the final scenario to give like a good, you know, if I was doing a hit like this, here's, you know, examples and stuff. That's definitely a good point to it. But of the 4, I think that was probably the weakest as far as it doesn't really need to be there. But also I'd say that about the same one with the Slug Squad.
Yeah.
But the way that you utilize the Slug Squad definitely incorporated them.
I thought they became actually like a very important part, especially at the end. And I will say, I think a lot of our like, because looking back, seeing how those scenarios could have been used as a training for us raiding, I think that's great. I think a large part of our issue with that too is just our unforeseen life circumstances, like bulldozing through the campaign and causing us to
because there's
really
huge
having
distances,
huge gaps, and I think that because of that we lost sight of a lot of those aspects, and so then we were basically replanning raids, you know, all over the place. Not that it's an excuse, but I do think, like, you know, moving into a new house and then health issues and family, like, all bulldozed right all at the same time and caused this large gap that maybe it's hard for me to like look back and be like, oh, this one feels more important or this one feels less important, because like listening to them all now again, it's kind of interesting and nice because I'm remembering bits and pieces.
Like going through these, I think they all ended up mattering at some point.
Right.
Looking as broad view of it, but obviously going through it, it was 16 sessions, and I can't tell you when we began and when we stopped these, but it was most of the in real life time was spent on these.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and I think maybe that's where some of our frustration with parts of the game came, is because we were having such extended times, which I would have preferred not to do, obviously, and just was unfortunate given the situations, but it
and also
it like caused a lot of like us forgetting things, which was frustrating.
And also as we're like talking about it now, I'm able to highlight kind of the differences between each scenario, but at the time when you're playing it, I'm betting a lot of these scenarios feel the same.
They kind of blend together,
that's
for sure.
But right now, we can all split it apart, and you guys can kind of see like the differences. But in game, it's like the same kind of things over and over again.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also very hard in each scenario to be considering the things that would affect long term. Yeah. So, for instance, the one with the Slug Squad and everything, and the reporter, like as you said, if we had gone about that completely differently and gotten rid of the entire Slug Squad and saved the reporter, we could have had her as an asset during the last scenario, which could have vastly changed things.
But also, you would have had, some of you would have died in the God's Light thing. So,
so then there's how do you reintroduce new characters?
It kind of works as far as like Shreni Bastia. It's all part of the plan. Just you guys not killing them, perfect. That's what I wanted. All right. As far as one more thing with the God's Light thing with the Slug Squad, I wanted to do more to show you their personalities and stuff, and I also didn't want them to die that session. I wanted them to continue to the finale, but I don't think I did enough, and I also don't think you guys got to know Marlon enough. But
I mean, we knew he fucked Robin,
that was his main character trait.
Yeah.
That's what he did. But anyway, so we're at the finale, Act 5, 2020, year of the pandemic. The finale is called The Hidden God, which is a bad name for this finale. It doesn't refer to anything. No. It's really bad.
I wondered if, like, I hadn't killed the kids, if there was going to be, like, a hidden god somehow. No. Or if, like, Conrad Din became the hidden god.
I mean, no.
We're the hidden god.
We didn't know the title until just now.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
We didn't know the title of the scenario.
Yeah.
I really
the
thought.
first time I'm telling you.
I
That.
remember the whole time.
I mean, if I told you it then, you guys would think like, "Oh,
That,
Conrad's
yeah.
going to
Where's the
summon
god?
Bass,
Yeah.
and we're going to find a giant cat.
Yeah.
Ulthar.
We'll put on trial."
God, I miss Ulthar.
So the tip-off for this finale came from Lee Jernigan, an essay writer. Conradin's operating an ice facility. You guys all make the decision. Well, this all comes about because Frank's son was in the mailroom, and he had dropped off a letter accidentally onto Frank's desk, which showed the tip. And Frank called everyone in. Moraine promises one last time, we just got to wrap up this one last loose end from Cornucopia House. You guys talked to the essay writer, researched Conradin's real name, Jacob Tillman, now Esau Tillman, learned his backstory, kidnapped by Babushka, traumatized at Cornucopia, then recovered by his father, who's homeschooled and used as a political tool by evangelical homeschooling proponents. Several books written by his dad about Conradin's struggle growing up. He then became close to private prison heir Chasen Lafferty after murdering his would-be rapist at a gay conversion camp. Something I learned after kidnapping the man's boyfriend, who was a Chuck Schumer staff member. With connections to Lafferty and Stephen Miller, Conradin and his friends in high places in the Trump admin. After learning all this, Pizzarelli ordered the team back to D.C. to debrief him. They did so, and tried to start discussing how to do this raid to stop Conradin and free the kids. However, Pizzarelli said no. Did you guys expect to be told no?
I did not. No. I was upset. I felt betrayed. I thought Pizzarelli was.
Your homeboy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like a betrayal. It felt like while we didn't get a whole lot of help from Delta Green, we did have Pizzarelli. Like Pizzarelli was at least the one resource we had.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was like, "No, you're not doing this,"
And if you do, like, I'll
if
get
you
your
do,
family.
yeah, and being threatened by him, even in like his like somewhat polite way to do it, yeah, it did definitely felt jarring. It pushed me into my decision further of like, you know what, fuck it, we're doing this.
Also,
like,
it was crazy to me, too, because, like, I knew that we all, as characters, especially me, probably knew how bad Robin was, and not only Robin, but the Slug Squad, and to know that he was basically, like,
Agreeing with them.
backing them, and...
Yeah.
Well...
And I know he didn't necessarily agree with them, but he wasn't...
Well, the impression I tried to give of him and Robin is that he worked with Robin, but Robin was kind of favored by higher up people in Delta Green.
Yeah.
And that's why she got her own team. And that's like he even apologized to you guys for the Slug Squad. He apologized to you, Moraine. Like,
I know
I'm
he
sorry.
did.
And he was genuine in that, but he had no control over Robin basically at that point. She was becoming her own entity.
Well, and I remember in my thinking, I was like, Pizzarelli, you might not have been at Cornucopia House, but you know everything that has, like, we're honest with him about what happened at Cornucopia House, and we were pretty honest about everything that happened following Cornucopia House and the consequences of that. And so, in my opinion, whenever he decided to sit back, I was like, he should have just come with us. Like, and that's what, and I know he wouldn't because he is a higher up, but like in my mind, I was like, if I was him, I would have abandoned them and helped them stop this. That would have been the top priority.
Yeah,
So
that's fair. I didn't think of that, but that's probably, yeah, that's honestly true.
what about his reasoning for why Delta Green can't get involved? Which
Oh,
was,
I totally understand. I think that's valid. I think
True.
it makes sense, but in Moraine's mind,
Yeah.
in her experience, she was like, if he knows like what happened, how can he just sit
Yeah,
there?
I'm just saying, like from a gameplay, contrivance or whatever. I think his explanation for why the Delta Green can't do this right now is pretty sound.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
I
mean,
'cause,
Again,
yeah,
I don't disagree with you. I'm speaking from like a character.
if you think about it like purely logically, you can make a point of like, well, if it does continue to work this way, then yeah.
But also
I'm not even talking
avoiding
this
the
now.
administration.
Like, because initially he wasn't saying this, and this is Pizzarelli's position was different from Robin's. Pizzarelli's position was, in 1 to 2 years, once Trump is out of the White House, then we can look at doing this.
Yeah, because that's more sound than continuing the cycle
Yes.
to kill more
Yeah,
gods.
that's fair.
It's, we
So
don't want
his
the
was-
administration to know about the supernatural
forgot
because
about
they're
that,
going to
yeah.
fuck shit up with it.
Yeah, because like if you go assassinate a ICE agent, a federal agent who is already very close to the Trump administration, and also like at an ICE facility, free the children, like some of you are not going to survive that.
Yeah.
And some of you are going to get caught, and then we're going to have to debrief the president on what Delta Green is and what the magic is in Mythos.
I'm curious if other people that have played this game have waited 2 years.
What do you mean by that?
Like, have agents waited 2 years to then...
Oh, I doubt that.
Players
Yeah.
just decide.
Because I feel like if you, like... I kept going back to... I remember seeing the folder
Yeah.
and just having to do this.
Yep.
And then Maureen, after seeing the folder, had to do that and then had all these life experiences. There was no way she could ignore it.
Which was the point, yeah. And, but anyway, I think Pizzarelli's argument makes sense. It's just cold and soulless.
Yeah.
It's... there's a risk if we...
Pizzarelli isn't a sadist. He's just...
No.
This is
He's
the
loyal.
best
Trying the best he
option
can do.
with what we have.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably already made so many of these choices at this point that if he were to go... Like, if he were to change now, it would have been kind of like all in vain.
But anyway, yeah. So that was Pizzarelli's reaction to that.
I kind of did want to play through the scenario of us being like, oh no, Pitts, we're doing this and now you're coming with us or
Yes.
we're going to kill you.
You could have kidnapped him right then and there, and at the time when he was doing that, I was like, okay. I was like giving you guys a chance to interrupt and say, okay, we pull our guns and like...
Right, yeah. I remember
Why
us talking
didn't
about
we?
it
I can't
after the
remember.
fact.
You guys weren't sure what to do, and he
Yeah.
was in the room with you, so you couldn't...
We couldn't
You-
talk about
Yeah,
it.
you guys, at this point, you weren't talking in a meta way.
No.
You're varying character at this in this scene. So you're like, just, okay, yeah, we won't do anything, just to get the meeting over with, so then you guys could talk.
Yeah.
So you let him get away. So
Yeah. It would have been interesting, though, to play through that, I think.
I agree. Taking him along with you as a prisoner would be very
That would have been...
interesting.
I think at that point we were so, like, cagey of, like, oh, we're gonna, like, escort a hostage out of this FBI building, like, successfully.
Well, I made
getting
it clear
caught.
there was no one else there. That was the thing, because it was COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
It was an abandoned building. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, we were like you were saying, under the mindset of, oh yeah, sure, Pitts, we're
Yeah,
gonna do that.
we just
And
gotta
then
get out
as
of
soon
here.
as we got
Yeah.
out, we were like, okay, guys, now what are we
Yeah,
gonna do?
for sure.
We should have kidnapped him. That was step one.
Step one.
Should we
wait,
go back in?
Let's go
I
back.
remember being so sure. I was like, okay, we'll sit down with Pitts. We'll talk it out. We'll figure out the next steps. We got this. Like, well, or not we got this necessarily, but like, we're going in. And then him just saying no. And I was so upset. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What the? I was so upset.
Because again, it puts you in the same position that both Thomas was in with the Scopsy raid, but also everyone was in with Cornucopia House, where now it's an illegal mission. You're just like Clove again. So, you looked into Chas and Lafferty, got him some Vietnamese food. Let's see. Obviously, Conradin's recreating Cornucopia House, creating more teeth, which, as I said,
Wasn't necessary.
it wasn't necessary. It's been shown that in a couple different ways.
So like, teeth are probably still getting made.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's Bass.
You killed those kids for nothing.
No.
No,
Maureen
they're gonna
feels
be
like
mad.
it was right.
Well, yeah.
She's dead.
Maureen definitely had an effect with what she did. But obviously this is a throwback to failing institutions like failing these kids, and now that institution, Delta Green, is failing them again.
Yeah.
So the remainder of the final scenario dealt with two things until the finale. One was outmaneuvering Delta Green, and two, what to do with the kids. As far as outmaneuvering went, Robin and Marlon, along with some new members of Team Gorge, tried to keep a tail on Frank, but after a car chase, lost them. The agents sent their bombs into hiding, and the group eventually left DC by car. Stopping at the Moss family farm to say goodbye, look at the hole, and the rest of the group met Jacqueline Blevins, Jake's daughter, who is now dating Oliver, and she brought with her Cricket. This is a case of me just putting something in there, like, it's up to you if you want to do anything with her and say anything to her. Kind of give an opportunity to bring closure to Jake's character. So, and also if you wanted to use the dog,
Take Cricket with
because
you.
like you guys did use the mind powers on animals before. In,
I could not
White
imagine
Teeth.
me using a dog that looked like my dead dog to
Yeah.
like go send her to her death. Like that would
Didn't have killed the dog.
Jackson would have 100%
There was a
killed
fire
dog would have
fight.
died.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was just some dog,
But yeah, Morgan, you didn't want giving closure to Jake Blevins, which was fine.
Yeah.
I just felt like sharing like
Like I'm
Sharing-
zip lips till the
sharing-
end.
Yeah.
sharing information about Delta Green just
I
felt
know I'm gonna
wrong.
die
That
soon,
makes-
but no way, Jose.
Well,
I still had a skewed idea.
But it
that
does
maybe
make
I
sense
survived.
because,
makes
like-
her a target.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it made Tim's wife a target. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
So mentioning anything about it
probably a
gets
bad
him in
idea.
trouble.
For sure.
We were already in the aspect of, we need to hide our families. So,
But Moraine convinces everyone at the farm to leave. If you had failed to persuade, I was toying with doing a scene where Robin and Marlon arrived to take prisoners at the farm. And then you guys played Papa Moss, Oliver, Jacqueline, and Cricket as you fought them off.
Push them into the hole.
Yeah, you could have done stuff with the
I
whole.
wanted to go in the hole so bad.
This is actually
That
the
would've been
second
fun.
time I had planned a raid on your farmhouse, with Moraine's kidnapping in God's Eye originally being something like the Strangers, which is
Yeah.
they were there to like torture and kill you
Oh.
because of your past experience with the Shan, because that's
Yeah.
the people that controlled your boyfriend. And then you would have regrown your limbs during the events of that as kind of like a stress mechanism, and then use that to kill them, obviously. But we kept running out of time with God's Eye, and it couldn't return to
Yeah.
those scenes, so it ended up being them kidnapping you. You arrived in El Paso. Thomas got a working moment inside Pineapple, where he is being brought with Robin and Marlon to El Paso so he can bite new teeth. I let you guys get whatever weapons you wanted. Usually that's a sign that your weapons won't matter.
yeah.
Any weapons did matter.
I mean, they
It's
kind of
just-
did this time.
Yeah, I mean, I killed a lot of people with my weapon.
Yeah, you guys had they affected things, absolutely. But it's just the ending was going to be very hard either way.
Right.
You stopped at Conrad's apartment, finding out more of his mindset and that he knows you're coming. You wanted to raid immediately, and I kept trying to like give you the impression that maybe you want to rest first or something. The thing with that was like if you just go in, you don't know anything about anything in there. Like you don't know where the camera room is or anything like that. So alarms are obviously going to go off very quickly. So you'd be doomed from that point forward as soon as the alarm went off. And then also you haven't dealt with Robin yet, and like I think Toby was saying, like afterwards we'll go kill Robin, and I was saying to him after a session, like the raid is it. That's the final part.
Yeah.
That's the final scene of this campaign. There isn't going to be like, and then we'll go after Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even I think I said this at the time. Bob thought he was not going to make it out of there like that,
I am
That was
sad
right.
Bob died.
and he was right.
But so you guys got 4 hours of sleep at the motel. While sleeping, Thomas walked into Pineapple again and saw he was in the motel room next door. Robin and Marlon had new sheriff's department deputies from LA with them and got each of them bit so they would become teeth. You went next door, recovered Pineapple, noticed the camera was put there by Robin. She speaks to you through it, and you fled the scene. This is why I like villain NPCs that know about you guys, because there's all these things I can do with them working against you. You guys set a trap in the desert. You decide to go undercover anyway to lure some to the ice facility, and then Frank goes and calls Rob and say, I want to switch sides and betray Thomas, so more people go over there. So you split up Team Gorge to make it easier to take down. Desert battle ensued. One side behind rock cover, one side in a car chase, and then shootout, guns and grenades. I was pretty happy with this fight. Marlon went out due to Tim going down and warging Pineapple once more to carry a grenade over. Again, consequences. If they hadn't kidnapped Pineapple in God's Law, Marlon would have lived.
Yeah.
If everyone hadn't hid their bonds, Frank especially, the other agents in Team Gorge wouldn't have been distracted and could have come to El Paso. Since they were already bitten, there would have been no point to bring Pineapple to El Paso. So, Robin gets to say a callback to Bob about burying her in the desert. Obviously saving that one. Robin dies because she can't help herself from indulging in her sadism. That's why she slit the throat of that driver mid-drive in God's Eye. That's why she gloated to Moraine how she was going to kill her father. As far as Moraine being the one to put down Robin, I think any one of you could have killed her and there would have been some level of meaningfulness. Mm-hmm. So with Robin and Moraine, you're two women on the team, leaders. One is a failure, the other is seen as a success. One cold-hearted, one trying to do good. Both played by the same person. Then there was Robin and Bob, who were the two new transplants to the team. A previous high-pressure blow-up between them ended with a threat to bury the other in the desert. Robin and Frank, two leaders of the team. She also nearly got your family. And then, of course, Robin and Thomas. She murdered Thomas's wife slowly and stole pineapple. So you each had something with Robin. But Robin died after that. And I liked Robin a lot. I think Robin was a really good character.
I loved Robin.
I like her as a.
We all hated her.
I like her as a motivation where she's not trying to like use magic for evil or
well, she
greed
also like her motivations were very clear.
Yeah, she wants you to not kill the children.
Yeah,
Right.
Which is obviously a weird thing to say for Robin.
Yeah. Bob and her were on the same side.
But it was not kill the children because she
they're
wanted
useful.
Yeah, because they're useful. We want them to keep suffering.
Let them keep...
So we can use them to go kill God and stuff.
But also killing that God was a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So she has good goals.
She's loyal to Delta Green.
She's 100% on Delta Green's side, and she's 100% for fighting the Mythos. But she's also a sadist who likes to hurt people.
I think, she's only doing that because of what it allows her to do.
I wouldn't
for
say
the most
that.
part.
I wouldn't say that
I
either,
wouldn't say that, no. I think she truly believes in what she's doing, but she, she believes...
just also likes hurting people.
Right. She believes...
But that's why would you believe in saving the world?
To
and
her, it's
fighting...
not saving the world. It's I think and Jackson, correct me if I'm wrong, she just likes to know everything that's going on. And then, fighting against it almost gives her, a power.
The way I kind of saw it is, Robin is the, typical Cthulhu or Delta Green character, PC, where, they're doing all these bad things to people, but they feel bad about it, but Robin doesn't feel bad about it.
Yeah. They're doing all these bad things because in their mind, the end goal is, but I kill a god. That's my goal.
Bonus for her to be sadistic, because we did Robin where I just wanted to see what you would do, where after you killed your first person, she went to, a fast food restaurant, and she, got her raw in order. And she was perfectly polite and very respectful. She wasn't mean or anything like that, or did anything to anybody. So, it's not even she's sadistic on her own time. It's just, this is just a fun benefit, side benefit.
Yeah.
Well,
she enjoys the job.
And beyond our personal character reasons, she and the devil agreed. As far as...
No, the devil
no,
wanted
the devil
to
wanted
to kill the kids.
That's the opposite. The devil wanted you to kill the kids to stop the cycle.
Right.
So you didn't want to get ate.
Because you guys did something kind of okay, guys. That was fun.
Cool it, all right?
We all had our fun, boys.
We all get one.
And that was really the thing. It's this is kind of amusing. And then, it's all the gods are these, Roman emperors, and they're watching the gladiators, and then, a lion jumps out and just mauls one of the emperors, okay,
wait a minute.
What if we stop the lions?
What if we build up that wall a little bit?
Obviously this isn't going to happen again, but just to be safe, maybe knock it off.
And I did like that tidbit, because it gave us motivation in all directions.
Yeah, because both evil characters, Robin and the devil, they want opposite things.
Yes,
right.
For sure. Yeah. So it wasn't a straight, evil character wants this, so we do the opposite.
And I think both of them gave good arguments. There's good arguments on both sides.
Yeah,
for killing
again,
the kids and
there's
letting
no
them live.
good option.
Yeah.
Because killing them it could be seen as merciful.
Could be seen as merciful.
It could definitely be seen as merciful, guys.
By a warped mind.
Definitely saving other people from the cornucopia kids victimizing them in the future.
Right. Yeah, because there was a lot of killing to end up where we ended up.
Yeah. And also your personal lives were all destroyed.
Yeah.
Except for Frank.
So there was a lot of ruin that followed
Yes.
that cycle.
Yes.
So killing them would have ended that cycle and stopped all that ruin from happening. But that would also mean allowing what was happening to continue.
Yeah.
So
It's honestly like I can't think of another RPG scenario with like such a perfect trap of a dilemma.
yeah,
Yeah.
We struggled with
that's
it.
why it took it. Yeah, it took
Yeah.
us
And
at
like,
least 2 sessions.
I felt
worth.
so sure
I mean,
in
this
my
was 6
decision.
sessions to do this.
I felt so
Yeah.
sure in my decision to kill those kids, and then like my personal feelings kept taking over and being like, well, like what if we can save them? But then like thinking really, really hard about what Moraine would do after all of those life experiences, and knowing how Delta Green's handling it now.
And you got a reminder of Jake Blevins right before you did
Yeah.
this with her daughter and
Yeah.
his daughter, and knowing that if he hadn't been on this raid, or if you'd taken out the kids, in
He'd be
2001,
alive.
he'd be alive, 100%.
Yeah. He'd be alive, and one kid ending up being okay after
What-
intense, crazy intervention. I just, in my mind, that's just not possible for all of
Yeah,
them.
and yeah, it's such a hard thing to deal with. So yeah, this is the second part. What to do with the kids? The devil showed up again. He led you to Chasten Lafferty and the key card, but also wanted to manipulate Thomas to destroy the captives. He would have done this to Jake if Jake had been alive. Robin wants his kids to live so the cycle can repeat. The kids lead to Mythos events, hopefully take down other beings like the Undying one they ate last year. Bob was the strongest voice not to hurt the kids, and even made a pact with Thomas to take out Moraine if she tried. It's just the kids aren't possessed. Like there's no mercy to killing them. You're just
Yeah.
killing innocent kids right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think even Moraine knew that. Like, she knew
They
that in
can
a
be
way.
saved. It's just really, really hard and still may not work.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Thomas's
just-
hope was that since we were further in the future, that the system, in large quotations, would be better.
Which certainly makes
Which-
sense, right? Like, that is
Yeah.
possible.
But
But
it's
again, you just
kinda
had a-
clear it wouldn't.
Yeah, you just had a reminder of Delta Green is failing again.
Yeah.
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 And kind of what Bob
And they actually
thought
want
was
to
like,
be as separate from this as possible, so they're not going to be helping
And,
these
and,
kids.
and aside from the kids and deaths, some of what they did, like the drone program and the Picky Eater, could have had massive consequences. Like, it could have been apocalyptic with
For
the Picky
sure.
Eater. So,
Yeah.
bad stuff could be prevented if you killed them. So, there's tons of arguments. The raid happens. There were definitely alternative, stealthier ways you could have gotten in. As it is, you started cheating them as you got in. Before you got to the camera room, hell broke loose. SWAT was on the way. After shooting your way through the main guards, you got to the private side, saw Conradin and his 2 goons. One nearly died before he shot off Thomas's face. Frank and Bob killed the other one. Bob ran after Conradin, and Frank ran to help Bob against Conradin, leaving Moraine alone. So, and then with this one, Tim, we had an issue with the armor-piercing confusion and stuff.
But we figured it out.
We figured it out.
You had the math right, but thought wrong.
Yeah, because I was editing the second to last one, and I was applying the math all correctly as I was doing it, but then Morgan said something about the math, said something about how armor piercing works. I was like, yeah, that's it, but it was wrong what she just said.
Yeah, because
So-
it was like, it's a D12, it doesn't add +3, it just ignores 3 armor.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
That's how it was. And so Frank ran off to go help Bob. Bob was going after Conradin. Moraine was left alone, and so she had time to decide what she wanted to do. Bob got the drop and fatally wounded Conradin, who was happy to see Bob was a new tooth, as this was proof to him that his plan had worked. And Conradin died thinking his plan had worked. And then Moraine, you saw the children, and you were kind of free to do what you wanted to, and you decided to shoot all the children.
Yep. And I had thought I was going to kill myself after killing all the kids, and then for some reason I put my gun down.
I got so much to live for.
Yeah.
No, it's fine either way. You went totally insane at that.
Yeah.
And you killed the kids. That is not how I wanted things to go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, like not that specifically, but it was more the fact that everyone else was occupied and you had your freedom to do it.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have some pushback.
What I had wanted was all 4 of you still alive there, and then you guys decide amongst yourselves what you do. Like, as far as, like, do you kill each other now or what? Mm-hmm. But it ended up... Honestly, what happened was, like, the first 5 sessions leading up to the raid is kind of goofing around. Like, you go to a green box, you do this, you make all these plans for these things to happen, and then when it starts, it immediately goes to fucking hell.
Yeah.
And
As
then it immediately goes to hell, and then, like, as you're coming up against the 3 final villains, Thomas's face just goes off and he dies instantly.
Yeah, just
which in like a TV show or movie, you'd be like, "Holy fuck! Okay, this
shit,
this is real. Like, we just lost Thomas. He's dead.
He's been here for the whole time."
Like, I saw Thomas die.
Yeah.
And then
like, this is real. Like, it'd be like we talked about before this, like robbing a bank and stuff, and like it sounds kind of fun. And then if we were to go do it, and like one of us just got their face
Toby
gets
just
blown
gets his
off.
head blown off.
It'd be like, "Oh fuck, we made a mistake coming here."
Oh god, Toby was the most competent of us.
Well, and I think I even said in the game, I was like, I just watched Thomas die. I remember Jake die, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then I was just like, I gotta do this. Like, whatever. Yeah. I gotta commit.
But yeah, I had wanted there to be a final battle between you guys. But that's just how it works. So Bob did that. Frank came out, and I liked this. Frank saw that Moraine was shooting the kids, and he initially was going to fire on Moraine, and then stopped.
Yeah.
He was like, I can't do it. And you kind of cowardly didn't do anything.
Well, I was hoping he'd get away and get to his family. I was like, one of us can get out.
And he heard that the SWAT team was about to breach the garage door, so he started to run through the facility. And then Bob came out, saw that. He tried to fire at Moraine and missed. And then the SWAT team breached the facility. Bob shot himself in the head with a shotgun. Yep. Moraine let herself be arrested after she killed all the children. Frank tried to escape. He released some more of the normal side detention facility. They got shot up by the SWAT team, so he surrendered. And he and Moraine were put in the back of the police wagon. And then the devil came and greeted them, and he was smiling under his helmet. And that song that I keep saying is like the theme song, the Step by Step. All the happy saints go marching in, and if a saint steps out of line, they'll have to start again. Mm-hmm. From The Wire season 1 finale. There's a big thing in there of like, how come the devil smiles and everything like that. So, man, that worked well. But anyway, you guys were arrested. Your reputation's ruined. You were called pedophiles and monsters. You killed a bunch of children. Your bonds were harassed, in some cases hating the agent. Frank did what he could to protect his family, even if they hated him. Eventually, the dark figure who was approaching Frank in all of his paintings came forward. When the camera and lights went out, and the dark figure was one of the fellow Team Gorge members that Moraine had recruited, and he told Frank what to do. Like, we'll give a lenient sentence on your son if Frank wrote himself now. Frank tried to argue, but he had no more leverage to pull, and he hanged himself. Moraine had Pitts visit her, giving her a final phone call with her dad, thus repeating the first conversation from the beginning of the campaign of Moraine calling her dad and telling her that she loved him and stuff, and then she too hung herself. Ending with shots of your homes all empty, with the last shot being the bottomless hole. So, and that's the end of the finale. So, how specific about the finale? Any more thoughts you wanted to say?
I would say I agree with you. I was kind of like, am I really alone with the kids? I would have liked...
No, I would have
liked some other player characters around me when that happened to either shoot me or try to, or that kind of thing. I think that's what Thomas was gonna do.
I mean, as soon as everyone in the facility with the kids were dead and someone was going after Conradin, if we weren't all going after him, and it was like a 2-and-2 situation, it definitely would have been like, all right, Moraine, let's get the locks off the cages, right?
But then you got your head blown off. So.
Yeah. So it all just kind of lined up perfectly to leave you alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it definitely was
it
not my
almost
intention.
felt to me
Yeah.
like it felt like almost you were giving me this
It
space.
definitely wasn't.
And
But
I'm
yeah,
like,
'cause-
But it was like in a cinematic way, like you would expect in
Yeah.
a TV show or something of like, oh, the questionable character
It
who
is
made
left
the
alone.
questionable choices
Yeah.
left alone.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like,
guess
it's definitely turned out good.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. Like at the end of the day, it was your choice fully.
Yeah.
What happened
Yeah.
to the children,
Yep.
and that's what you chose to do. And like I said before, I think that's probably the one choice that Srinivasa did not want you to do. So
Yeah.
I guess you did defy her at the very end.
Yeah.
Maybe Bob was just a really bought-in tooth that didn't know he was just fully serving the god,
I mean, kind of.
trying to save the kids.
Yeah. So then, lastly, just overall questions. As we played this, like I think we've said, we touched on this. It didn't feel as distinct as it does right now as I'm going
Yeah.
through everything. So,
Sure.
is there any way to improve that
I think the biggest thing
aside
is-
from our personal like scheduling issues?
Yeah, I truly think the biggest issue was unfortunately that life happened really hard for a few of us and we had to have extended breaks.
Yeah.
And that really was hard and frustrating, especially not to be like woe is me, but I have a really hard time remembering things. And I try to take notes and then my notes even get silly the longer the game goes, and so that just works against me. But I think Delta Green itself is a harder system for me to get really into, maybe, because I struggle to be an FBI agent or a police officer or some sort of agent, whereas like when I think of previous campaigns where it's mostly
Like you're a pilot or you're
Right.
an artist.
like I feel like I'm really able to like get into that character for some reason, and maybe that's a flaw on my part. I don't know.
I mean, everyone I think has this issue
Yeah.
in our group for some reason. I don't know why. It is my fault ultimately because I'm the game master. I'm supposed to kind of
I don't think it's your
help
fault
you with
that
the
I'm
setting.
In
forgetful.
past games, our professions felt like they gave us like resources and like skills, and obviously this gives you like skills and things like that. But being an FBI agent or a law enforcement agent in general, it felt almost confining.
Yeah.
Like it was like, no, I have to protect the fact that I'm a sheriff in this town, or I am an FBI agent. Like if I get found out here, like that is going to go very poorly for me.
It's funny though, because like my other character, like thinking back to a previous game, Berlin, I was an artist. So like, what extra things did I have?
Well, I think also a big difference between like this and Berlin is you didn't have a boss in Berlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's less constraining.
You didn't
kinda
have
what I was
people
saying.
telling you how to proceed and do everything because you could do whatever you wanted. And Delta Green was initially created as like a excuse for why people would hunt the mythos.
Yeah.
And also why replacement characters would come from, because like specifically with Masks of Nyarlathotep, you died pretty easily in that, and so replacement characters like, you're the bellhop in this hotel, want to go on an adventure?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess you could join. Like by the end, it's like there's nobody that was part of the original crew. Like no one knows the initial NPC.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's just a hard thing about Delta Green overall is the modern setting is different than what we're used to as well. And so there is a lot of, especially after the first
Very
chapter,
much so, yeah.
like, oh, we fucked up. And then going forward into the future, we know about all of the modern technology, cameras and stuff, and that adds to the runaround.
I don't know if it's the modern setting. I think it's more that you're responsible for covering up.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah,
that
Because like
adds to
with
it.
Cthulhu, you aren't really responsible for covering.
Yeah,
up.
we're just like, we just...
like
did
the most
thing.
you guys do is like burn a book or something. Like
Yeah.
it's not your responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this, it's, oh, you're
Burn the
going
body,
in
bury
to make
it,
sure it
burn the
doesn't.
Threaten the
car.
witnesses,
Yeah.
maybe kill the witnesses, destroy cameras.
Yeah.
Because like with Cthulhu, because we could do like a modern Cthulhu thing, and I don't think we would feel as restrictive.
No.
Well, and maybe this is, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good way to word it. I kind of missed some silly.
Well, yeah, and that's why I think God's Light is probably the closest to
Yeah.
like one of our normal scenarios.
Yeah,
that we do.
because I feel like our group, we do like a little silly. We like a little role play. I'm not trying to bring up Berlin over and over
Berlin
again.
is awesome. Everyone
Yeah.
should go watch.
It is our best
I
game.
I
loved
fucking
Berlin.
love
It is
Berlin.
one of our-
But, like,
I
I
jerk
think
off
about-
to it.
I think about Hans and Otto to this day.
Well, and that's the thing. Like,
So great.
how do you feel about your characters as far as their personalities?
I ended up loving playing Robin, and when she got taken from me, I was upset.
Okay.
Okay. But I did like Moraine, but I think because she just felt like a broken character to me in a lot. Not just broken emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And like she was like, I have a mission and this is the mission. But I wasn't really bonded with her personality. I didn't have like any silly aspects about her that I could play. I didn't have any like really big personality traits other than like, well, we've been given this impossible task, let's go do it.
Yeah, and like we had 41 sessions on this.
Mm-hmm.
With Berlin, we had 16.
Yeah.
On Berlin in particular, Adam, your sexologist character with the gay husband, he was in it for 4 sessions.
Which is crazy to me
Yeah.
because I think about that character
Yeah,
constantly.
and I think I think that character's a lot stronger of a character than Bob was.
Not necessarily. I think it was just
I think more memorable. I think
More memorable
you'll
for
remember
sure.
a lot more about.
I remember a lot more about it because I think we packed so much more into those
Well,
sessions.
you know the motivations, you had a love life.
And that was another thing is there was so much movement in that character of like you start out at this like somewhat high point, the characters degrade somewhat, I have to work on my relationship, I save my marriage, those characters like get to kind of a stopping point, and then I fully was like, no, you know what? This character's retiring. This character would not continue doing this. This character is going to step away. And I've never been able to do that with a character of like, no, absolutely they wouldn't continue being an investigator. They're going to go retire in America.
Yeah.
Well, we had such cool connections.
Or like your character with Anita Berber.
Yeah.
Where,
When I like fully planned on just jumping in, you know, like I all about that. Hans and Otto, like I just listened to the Drew cat being killed again.
Spoilers, but
well, this is the thing. I listened to those shorts of like Berlin, and like specifically the one where Greta, I don't want Hans to know I've been having an affair with him this whole time, and Otto knew the whole time. Like I'm listening to that, and that's a scene that's just with Hans, with Toby and Tim. But everyone else is like fully invested in what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
And
like,
I think that's the thing is
you guys aren't on your phones. You aren't like distracted. You aren't asking like what's going on. You're all like you care about the other characters in the Berlin scenarios.
And I think it's because we're missing the silly factor.
I-
We don't have, and maybe silly is not the best way to put it. We're missing that intimate thing that we're able to do as characters. Where I feel like somehow we miss that in Delta
It feels
Green.
like so much of this was planning
Yes.
as opposed to
That's it.
playing and being our characters.
Yes.
And we were
Yeah.
talking...
And that's probably
You
on
know
us
too
too.
much.
For sure.
As agents, you just know too much going into scenarios. It gives you like, I don't want to screw this up. When you know everything about your opponent, they don't know
sure.
anything about you. They can't do anything about you.
We're
Yeah.
also doing like weird, creepy things with creatures. Like there's like these weird creatures we're up against, and
There's
You
just,
mean in Berlin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in Delta Green, to the point of planning and stuff, back to the like modern day aspect of it,
that adds to
we're
it.
going into a scenario like, for instance, like the Slug Squad one. Like, sure, we have to meet these people, we learn about them and stuff like that, but we know what we're doing going in, and then we figure something out, and then we spend a bunch of time thinking and planning of
Yeah.
what to do next, and then we do that for a very short amount of time, and then we have to plan something else.
Yeah.
and this is something that, I mean, it's partly my fault as a game master, but it's also kind of not my fault a little, because
I think it's definitely partially on us.
because no, it's not. None of it's on you. But like what I'm saying is like, generally like in writing or something, if like you spend time like going over a plan, how like it's not going to go to plan when the execution comes.
Yeah.
In like in any story like that. So like it's my responsibility as a game master to come up with like hitches in the plan that screw things up.
Right.
But I also I can't change anything as far as like the world and like what they know and everything. So like I didn't feel like I had a lot of tools to do stuff with against you guys. And that's why I liked Robin at the end, because I did have a tool. I had her doing stuff working against you. So what would you have done differently if you were the game master?
Giving us more cookies. we gotta all grow it back at some point.
I think your suggestion of like doing some sort of like maybe earlier in the beginning doing some sort of like assault on a facility and walking us through it a little bit more would have been a little helpful. Maybe not, because again, I agree with you that like I want to choose what we do. I don't want to be railroaded into things.
Because like,
kind of guardrails.
But giving us a
something.
precedent.
yeah, and like we're saying that now that it's done and we're looking at overall, but like at the time, I don't think you would have liked that very much.
Maybe not. Maybe
he
not.
Says that. I
for
push
sure.
back so much every time, and I'm sorry.
Because like if I were to just have this guy, okay, here are options of what to do. I want you to do this. Like if he's leading the entire thing.
And that's the thing. I don't know how you would have like done that, guided us through it. I don't know.
Well, and the hard part about that too is especially how it was spaced out in the campaign. That would have happened, during the first to second third of the campaign, and
I think it would have been like 2/3 through.
2/3 through about. Yeah, I guess depending on which way you orient those 4 different scenarios in the middle. But I know for us, we would have probably forgotten all of that by the very end.
I mean,
too.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, because I know where everything's going. I know what matters. I know what things I'm going to bring back. So
right, there's all those aspects that you can hint at it all you need, but there's things that we're just always going to forget. By the time it becomes relevant.
Yeah. Anything else besides that particular part that you would have done differently as a game master?
I remember just feeling multiple, and I don't think this was like a way you were running the game. I just remember multiple times feeling very frustrated because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I just was so frustrated, and I felt like I was doing things wrong all the time. And I think I was just in my head about it.
I think the for some reason this Delta Green creates this feeling with you guys where you're spending most of your brain energy trying to figure out how should a Delta Green agent behave.
Yeah.
And you're not really thinking about the game or the plot or choices. You're just thinking, okay, what does Delta Green want me to do as an agent?
It's we're trying not to fuck up as opposed to like progressing the plot along.
Yeah. Yeah, you have something to me?
It's not all about just the demolitions thing, but like when we were having trouble, we wanted to do explosives, and we don't have any skills in demolition. I feel like, I guess I'll say I also know when we attribute skills, skill points, I could have put some in there. But I feel like being a trained FBI agent or various other law enforcements, like we would have had some kind of better skills in those. Or maybe like a general...
Or been able to look it up. That's something we didn't try.
Law enforcement, like, I don't know. Like, if you're an FBI agent, you go through Quantico, I'm sure that's not necessarily explosives training or something, but it's kind of part of what we did, and I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. As far as character creation went, you guys didn't really have a lot of choices where you could put things.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know if you remembered that, but like if you were an FBI agent, you had pretty much the same blueprint as another FBI agent.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense, but it's like that's also not very...
There's not a lot to build on,
Like you weren't... Like in Cthulhu, you can attribute points pretty freely. Within your occupation, within your interests, but in this one it felt very restrictive.
Well, and a lot of times in Cthulhu you're also marking off, so like if you're successful you can
that's
up
something I was going to bring up.
And we didn't do that in this one. I specifically I didn't want to do it because I didn't want you guys to feel like your characters were getting stronger. Because I wanted there at the end to feel like there was a huge cost to everything in this campaign.
Well,
Yeah.
and I literally was drinking poison milk, so like that makes sense.
And also the way Delta Green does their skill improvement checks is different than Cthulhu, because with Delta Green, you put a check mark if you fail a skill. And then at the end of a session, you get 1 point in that skill.
I mean, yeah.
So
very
It goes slowly.
that'd be
yeah.
very slow, and also you're getting rewarded for failing on skills.
Yeah.
So do you just try random skills to fail?
Yeah, just to get a pointer
Like,
here or
those-
there.
We
that doesn't
definitely
feel
would have
very-
if that was the way
Like
it
that doesn't
worked.
feel very. I don't care for that.
Yeah, that's
but
fair.
on that aspect, just in you asking ways to change or
Yeah,
going back
sure.
and changing things, I feel like if we did it all again and spent as much time during the long years and during the in between scenarios and stuff with the 4 different scenarios in the middle, adding in either the standard Cthulhu or using the Delta Green one for recovering sanity.
Yeah.
Or using the bonds more, because we did in the long
And
years.
that was my fault with like using the bonds, because technically the bonds have mechanical uses to protect sanity.
Yeah,
I just like it felt like we had so little time each session, and we were getting so little done. It just felt like we couldn't really spend time, and I had to kind of streamline what I was doing.
that's fair.
That's
Yeah, because and that just loops back to the point of like Morgan and I were talking about of just like every other session was a planning session, and
Yeah.
we just had to
it's in the-
rehash trying to. Get
I think that's
through
why
things.
we liked. I know there was so many sessions for the life, the long.
God's light.
No, the
the
life,
long years.
the long years.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Number
think it's
5.
why we liked it so much is because I got to be like a silly kid,
It
like
was
his
just
little
improv,
brother,
yeah.
Yeah.
or I got to be a daughter or whatever. And we got to role play, and you were texting us being like, "Oh yeah, and you fucking hate your dad right now, actually." And I was like, "Yeah, fuck you, Dad, because I'm gonna go date a 30-year-old or whatever
Yeah.
with Toby."
And obviously, some of those things were stolen from True Detective.
Yeah.
Like the baby in the microwave one, and also the kids and the adults.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like to speak on what you're saying, I think that maybe that is like having some moments of bonds would have helped a
But
little,
I-
but like it
it's
was
hard
hard
to
because
get
we were
going.
So,
using so.
here's the thing. I'll disagree with that, because when going through this review, we didn't touch on. You guys did talk to your bonds a lot.
Yeah, we
We
did.
did.
I did talk to my dad a lot.
Yeah.
We talked a lot, and it got repetitive,
It did.
and that's why I didn't bring it up.
To be fair, and there were certain times where like there was like a one thing we had been doing with bonds where like it kept getting brought up like between me and Toby, where it'd be like, all right, there's this, like it almost got like combative.
Yeah. And that also kind of ties into the sessions and repeating conversations.
Yeah.
But yeah, so would you ever run this campaign for anyone else?
No.
I know if
No.
I ran if I
I
ran a
might
game that
run the
wouldn't be Delta
opening
Green.
scenario as just to like.
That would be a
You
good
wanna
one
see-
shot.
You want to
Yeah.
see something?
What
fucked
about any of the God's Hunt scenarios as one shots?
Maybe.
Maybe
I
Honestly-
prefer the. Or no, I guess those are the 4 like
The
God's light.
God's eye, God's breath, God's law, God's light.
Yeah, I feel like those could be one shots or added into another campaign, another
Yeah.
Delta Green. Because they very easily could be completely disregard Cornucopia House in just a standalone scenario.
Yeah.
I feel like those are definitely more fun than
And you
The
could
core
flesh them out a
concept.
little bit more than
Yeah. Do you so
As a
you,
one-shot.
you guys wouldn't run this campaign for
Most
other people?
likely
I
not.
say this with so much love,
No.
but I would not run a Delta Green campaign.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think it's what I would lean towards. Not that there's anything wrong with Delta
I
Green or
was
folks
hooked
that
by
like.
the beginning. I
Yeah.
thought the beginning
For
was like
sure.
a really strong hook.
for sure.
Everything about the beginning to the fact that, oh, this isn't an official operation.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
You just did something weird. What do you do with kids? She's telling you to get rid of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sets you up pretty well.
there are a lot of things I really like about the campaign. There are a lot of things things I will think about, parts I'll go back and listen to, but Delta Green by itself is just not my favorite
Yeah.
like I'm really curious what we'll do next, and I hope we have some silly.
Well, one of the people who commented
Darker.
asked when we're going to do the Delta Green campaign Impossible Landscapes, which will not be anytime soon to never.
Oh no.
I'm not sure. It's a Keening Yellow campaign.
It depends on who asks. Is it Matt Alchemix?
No, it's a guy.
I'd do anything for that
it's
guy.
a guy on YouTube, but the guy on YouTube, he's very nice too. He's a really good guy. I like him. And you should. And I'm talking to you because you'll listen to this. Specifically, sir, you should listen to the Berlin scenario.
The Berlin one's better.
They're so good. They're so much
You
fun.
know what I was thinking the other day? I wish the Ulthar campaign was recorded.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was one of my favorites.
Actually, it
think
is.
about
It is recorded.
Hold on, with the trial?
Yes, I have recordings of that.
Yeah, we
What?
recorded the trial. Yeah,
What?
Yeah, I have it on my computer. I
that
think.
happened at our apartment. We were recording by then.
Yep, that was the first one we recorded. Those audio qualities are much worse.
Yeah.
I'm just happy they exist.
They do exist on my phone. I gotta get them on my phone to there.
Those would be
I
good,
still
like
have
clip
them.
form.
And I think Toby still has them in like a Google Drive somewhere.
Either way, I have them on a hard
Yeah.
drive. I had to open so many different accounts
Yeah.
to store
Yeah.
them all.
And-
That
but
I don't know where the fuck they
if
are.
we could find that, that'd be great. But we also have the Two-Headed Serpent, which I've edited the first 4 sessions of, and we'll start to upload after this, which is the Pulp campaign, which is pretty fun. We ran in between Berlin and this, so this was kind of a palate cleanser for pulp action and stuff.
My palate is cleansed.
We're good.
I feel so ready and fresh. Oh man!
Oh, careful.
Sorry.
Okay. So yeah, none of you would run this game.
Yeah, probably.
I
You
don't
didn't
know.
ask me yet.
Would you run
No.
this game?
I don't want them to hate us though.
No.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is the people that have listened this far are big fans of this campaign.
So
So,
I guess
insulted.
what I would say though is I might run it if I had a not ever as like a first intro to
For
this.
sure.
Like way later on.
I think that's why I'm saying I wouldn't run it, is because like I would need a totally separate group from this one.
Yeah.
That is
have been
also
doing
That
it
is
for,
that I'm
like-
also incredibly chill with, to be like, hey, child pornography.
right,
like,
I couldn't imagine running this with like if I had kids someday.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna run this for my teenagers, my
Well,
middle
And
schoolers.
like for
to do
context,
this in a
I've never
apartment.
run a game
Oh,
before
yeah.
outside of my weird little tiny games with my dad.
Uh-huh.
And so like this feels so big that I can't even imagine trying to run something
Yeah.
like this when you haven't run a game for a group of friends before. Like I run games for my sister first and my
It's-
dad where I'm like literally like
This-
you got a squirrel, now what? Like this is not that.
This was one of the more frustrating campaigns
For
for,
sure.
me to run because it didn't feel like I had a lot of tools I could use during it, and also with all the personal stuff, it was just I was stuck in like the
Yeah.
scenarios for so long,
Yeah.
and it's like.
Well, and like you said, they don't give you much freedom, and it's mostly just like, all right, you completed that scenario. Delta Green gives you the next one. Do that. Oh, you lived? Cool. Now you get to do this.
Also, as far as running this for a different group, especially if you're running it for newer players, I feel like newer players have a tendency to just kind of like bounce off of stuff. Like they just try things.
Yeah.
And if you do that in this campaign,
You'll die.
you'll fuck everything up and die. Like,
Yeah. Okay, so quickly, what did you like about this campaign? Is there anything?
I know I've said this a lot.
No.
I feel like no, hold on.
Next question, please.
I actually I've never played a character like Robin before, and I did really enjoy kind of getting out of the box a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like I hit the ground running with Robin because you had my first scene with her being assassination, and then that was a fun character to play and then see how that turned out. I did really enjoy figuring out that we were teeth. I remember being like, "Are we teeth?" And you looked at me like, "You motherfucker!"
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, "I did
yeah.
something." Like that was cool. It was nice, like finally piecing it together. And then at the end, like I will say, I felt very like, this is what I have to do. Like, so I did feel like I was true to my character. I enjoyed that part. So yeah, there are definitely bits I liked about it. I didn't like that I let myself get distracted.
It's one of the better written campaigns that I think you've run for us. Like, I feel like if I was reading this like as a book, it would be the one I would probably enjoy one of the most.
Yeah, I think as a group we created a good story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not as enjoyable as players to play through it.
I would agree. And what I was going to say is the things I enjoyed the most out of the campaign are the things you improv'd or changed.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Including the
There are a lot
Slug
of good
Squad
ones.
and having that additional villain character kind of force us into scenarios. The long years I enjoyed, but that earlier, like we were saying, those were just kind of like the silly improv type stuff, and that's always fun.
Yeah.
The scenario as a whole, though, I mean, I do think the concept is good as a story, because like you say, hooks you in, throws you in with the good stuff, and then you just have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I wasn't very good at the figuring out part, because I was one of the ones thinking about, like, all right, so how the fuck do we clean up this, you know?
You really gave each of us something with our backstories. I had my bug boyfriend, Adam had the devil, you know, and that was also...
I don't think I did good enough with Toby. I think I did good with Tim and torturing him.
Just a little.
Yeah, you were pretty broken.
You tortured me with my family.
Yeah.
I felt pretty tortured. I did not know what to do there.
Yeah, that whole ending scenario.
I can't imagine not having the Slug Squad at the end
Yeah.
as like an adversary.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, if Robin and the Slug Squad weren't there, then what's the finale look like?
We
just
would
you
have
guys
just
going
gone.
there.
Yeah.
Drove straight to the facility.
Pizzarelli tells us no, we tell him fuck off, and then no one's there.
Who are you gonna
stop
send
us.
after
Yeah.
us, Fitz?
Yeah.
There's no one scared.
Well, and I think that was one of my favorite fights, was us finally killing them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because Robin had become a satisfying villain. Do you have any ideas for backup player characters that you never got to use?
My brother would have been one. Jeremy.
I like that.
Yeah. He would have somehow got a message from somebody and it would have slipped in, or maybe he criminal contact or something like that.
Yeah.
I thought about, because how old was my daughter by the end?
Like early 20s.
I thought about maybe playing her
Yeah.
if Bob died.
Yeah.
Of just saying, like, she's gonna look into some of the things that her dad was into and then find some of it out. But that was the only thought I had post Bob.
Yeah.
Papa Moss tells her about Maureen's limbs growing back, and she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Would you have played your ISIS son?
A real change.
Yeah. I mean, that maybe that could have been what set him straight, is seeing what's really going on in the world and what he needs to fight against. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of my one.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to say or points you want to bring up? Before we
I
wrap
guess
up?
if someone listened to all this, thank you for listening to all this. You've been around since 2023.
We love you.
We do. We love
And
you
if
very
this
much.
is your first, video, audio, anything that you've heard from us, go listen to the Berlin campaign. And then maybe come back to this if you like
Or
it.
listen to the Two-Headed Serpent campaign.
Or
that
the
will
Two-Headed
begin-
Serpent.
Yeah.
Or if
begin
you
to be
like
released.
D&D
It's a
more,
lot of
there's
fun.
a couple
I
sessions
personally
there.
like
Yeah.
the Scooby-Doo thing, or we have a Scooby-Doo one.
There's a
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo session.
There's a D&D
over
Scooby-Doo where I play Scooby. I say a lot of really good
Really, it's great stuff.
really great stuff that makes it into that video.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I would say, if there's nothing else. Overall, are you glad you played this, and would you recommend others play it?
I'm glad we played it because
Yes.
I like hanging out with you guys and playing games with you guys. I don't know who I could recommend this game to.
I would recommend this to players that are of like the same experience level as us.
Mhm.
Like you've been
Yeah.
playing Cthulhu for years. But I would give them like the qualifier of like content warning of just like, hey, if this isn't something you're interested in, if you watch True Detective and you wouldn't like to play any of that out, don't do it. But outside of just content, like, this is a very, like, details-based campaign. Like, this is something where you're going to have to take notes. This is something where you're going to have to focus. And, like, there will be frustrating portions. It's not a fly by the seat of your pants.
You get a little tongue out and everything.
So it's for certain types of players, I would say.
Sure.
It would definitely frustrate some folks.
Yeah.
You know, it would be really interesting to see how other characters would play this game and how someone else would run it. Like, I'm really thinking of other... I would be curious to see how Wesley would play this game as an example, because he's such a boisterous and fun guy usually when he plays games.
Well, the thing is, like, I've listened to not other playthroughs of this. I've listened to, like, the first episode of the original actual play of this, and that's it. But I've listened to other Delta Green stuff, and, like, their agents are always goofy.
Really?
They don't act like you guys do. They would act like Wesley, I think, would. Like, he'd come in like a Dr. Jacoby from Twin Peaks, like a Hawaiian
exactly.
shirt.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like, that's what other people do with their
So
characters.
maybe we're just flawed.
But
maybe
it's my fault for
flawed.
giving you the impression of the setting.
So
but I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to give it differently.
That was the thing, is like, I took it as True Detective.
Yeah, and that's,
Right, which is what Delta Green at the core is, though. It's realism in Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And like, also, like, this would be a really weird one to do goofy in.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's a very serious situation.
Jackson, can I ask you,
Sorry, go ahead.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite child, like, player?
Child.
Player.
I don't have a favorite player.
It's okay, you can choose. It's
What?
okay if it's not me.
Not you.
Why'd you say child?
We're
Yeah,
like
it's so weird.
we're like his children.
No, we're not.
What?
No,
Yeah.
stop. Hey.
No, your favorite cornucopia child.
Or
You know.
just
Count
like,
it in.
Who is the sexiest child?
Name a
No.
second one.
no, okay. So of us, which one was your favorite player character?
Robin Reyes was my favorite character.
Oh, but like playing wise, role play wise.
Not me.
I would say I think Jake Blevins got
Yeah.
a lot of character put on him from the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that gave him a lot of
A lot of quick character development.
yeah, that
You were really good at playing angry about it too.
and I think Thomas had a lot going on with his brother.
Thomas
that I
was
liked.
one of my
I think Toby, you were very subtle with your character, but I think your choice at the end to just like let Moraine do what she was doing was
liked
very
that a lot.
good.
I liked it. I didn't like it, but I liked
It
it.
was a good choice that you had the chance to stop this, and your character was too weak to stop it, or agreed too much. But he couldn't be the one to do it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that aspect, because I do remember you talking about it, and you followed up on essentially that choice of, like, I can't do
It won't
it
be me.
myself, but it kind of,
Yeah, it won't be me.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's it. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, please leave a comment on YouTube or Spotify, and I'll respond if you have any questions. If you just want to say hi, I'd love to hear your thoughts on our campaign, and anything else, I guess.
If you leave mean comments, we'll cyberbully you.
No, we won't.
No. I'm always,
If you ask for it.
you can reach me on Discord at the Kona Lodge, or on Blue Sky, as I am banned on Twitter.
Like all true patriots.
I have been repeatedly banned for unfair reasons.
that we can't get into. They
found ways. Also, my Reddit account is banned, so don't bother pinning me there anymore or whatever. I'll begin releasing episodes of The Two-Headed Serpent on all our platforms. It's a pulp campaign. It's fun. It's more adventurous. It's 19 episodes. If you like Indiana Jones, The Mummy, you will like this. That is a guarantee.
For sure.
Beyond that, we also have my favorite campaign on YouTube, Berlin the Wicked City. Set in Weimar, Berlin.
We use this to just pitch Berlin to people.
Guys, I love Berlin so much.
Come on, you gotta give it a try.
It's set between 1922 and 1932. There are 5 great scenarios there, totaling 16 episodes. Easily the best campaign I've done. Once again, thanks for listening, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Bye.
Now we'll record it.
Now that we've gotten that practice out of
Oh
it.
my god.